Chapter 1146. When Lu Ming talked about how he came to the Holy City to participate in the competition of the younger generation and how he came to the 9 underworlds demon realm, Xian Yanqing's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. He said, "Lu Ming, you have been deceived by them. 10,000 points, just like me, is very difficult to achieve." Then he looked at Lu Ming affectionately and said, "Lu Ming, why are you so stupid? It's all because of me that you have to come here. Idiot, if I don't come to find you personally, how can I be at ease? By the way, when you came back from the 9 Dragon City, did you come here?" Lu Ming asked. Xian Yanqing nodded and said, "When I came back, Xie Qitian asked people to send me to the 9 underworlds demon realm. Unfortunately, although they know that my bloodline is inclined to the dark side, they don't know that my bloodline is the heavenly demon bloodline. In the 9 underworlds demon realm, I am like a fish in water. My cultivation speed is faster than the outside world. Moreover, I have awakened the 3rd bloodline. With the use of demon chi and demon stones, my cultivation speed is even faster." Speaking of this, Xian Yanqing's voice became cold, as if he was full of hatred towards the Xie family. Lu Ming's arm that was holding Xian Yanqing's arm tightened. It could be imagined that in these years, Xian Yanqing had been struggling and cultivating alone in the 9 underworlds demon realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such a cultivation. Thinking of this, Lu Ming's heart ached. "Lu Ming, you are here. I am so happy." Xian Yanqing's voice whispered in Lu Ming's ear. Lu Ming turned his head slightly and looked at the beautiful face that was close to him. Feeling Xian Yanqing's soft breathing, he felt his heart throbbing. The beautiful face and the smile on his face seemed to be Lu Ming's everything. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and slowly ran his fingertips across the beautiful face, feeling every inch of Xian Yanqing's skin. Lu Ming slightly leaned his head forward and kissed those red lips that could make men go crazy. Those beautiful eyes were still open, looking at him and listening to Lu Ming's breathing. Lu Ming greedily demanded and entwined his fingers around Xian Yanqing's neck, Xian Yanqing's clothes, and waist. His hand slowly entered Xian Yanqing's body, feeling every inch of warmth. Xian Yanqing's body started to tremble slightly, then he let Lu Ming do whatever he wanted. Lu Ming hugged Xian Yanqing and slowly lay down on the blue stone on the mountain peak. His fingers moved gently, following the warm skin and touching the girl's skin. Lu Ming seemed to be savoring it carefully. The speed at which he moved his fingers was very slow, as if he wanted to use his touch to melt Xian Yanqing's body. Sliding his fingers across the smooth skin, Lu Ming's hand seemed to touch the soft curves. Following the curves, his hand climbed up. The towering curves were so smooth, and the skin there was so soft and full of elasticity, as if it could be crushed with a casual pinch. However, when Lu Ming climbed to the peak, his hands still couldn't help but clench. The soft and elastic part that was slightly deformed from the squeezing stimulated every cell in Lu Ming's body. It made his blood seem to boil, and his breathing became heavy. "Ah!" A soft sound like the sound of nature came out of Xian Yanqing's mouth, stimulating Lu Ming's blood even more, making his mouth suck even more greedily. Xian Yanqing's soft and beautiful eyes finally couldn't hold back their shyness and slowly closed, allowing Lu Ming to fiddle with them, quietly enjoying the blended love of water and milk. Spicy eyes, really spicy eyes. After an unknown period of time, a sudden shout interrupted the two of them. The two of them opened their eyes at the same time and saw Dandan not far away, staring at the two of them with his eyes wide open. Xian Yanqing's face immediately turned red. Even his ears and neck were red. Continue. Don't worry about me," Dandan said leisurely when he saw the two of them looking at him. Scram! Lu Ming slapped out, and a palm print condensed from true energy blasted towards Dandan. Dandan was sent flying by Lu Ming's slap like a stone. "Lu Ming, you're valuing your lover over your friends. No, you're looking down on your seniors." Dandan's voice came from afar. In the end, he turned into a black dot and disappeared in the air, flying far away. After the commotion caused by Dandan, the boiling blood of the two of them calmed down. "You pervert," Xian Yanqing tidied up her messy clothes and said with a red face. Lu Ming chuckled and held Xian Yanqing's hand. He said, Xiao, why did the Demon Temple clan besiege you? Because of a demon statue, Xian said. Then, a demon statue appeared in her hand. The demon statue was small, only the size of a fist. However, it emitted a terrifying demon intent. This demon intent was domineering, as if it wanted to destroy the heavens and dominate the world. What a strong demon intent! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. It was just a piece of the demon statue and it was already so terrifying. This demon statue was definitely a precious treasure to those who practiced diabolism or the Masha clan. It was no wonder that so many powerful figures from the Masha clan had besieged Xian. I got this demon statue from the demon steel mountain, Xian said. Then, she kept the demon statue and the surrounding pressure disappeared. Xiao, did you really enter the demon steel mountain? I heard that it's extremely dangerous there. Those who entered all died. Although Lu Ming knew that Xian was fine, he couldn't help but worry. I heard that the Demon Steel Mountain is indeed very dangerous. Many Demon Temple clan and human cultivators died there. However, I don't know why, but when I get close to the Demon Steel Mountain, I feel a strong throbbing in my heart. It's as if something on the Demon Steel Mountain is attracting me. That's why I took the risk and entered the Demon Steel Mountain. However, the strange thing is that I didn't encounter any danger when I entered the Demon Steel Mountain. Instead, I obtained an opportunity and broke through in my cultivation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to bring out this demon statue from the Demon Steel Mountain. Xian said. You have this feeling too? What is it that's attracting you? Lu Ming was bewildered. Xian looked at Lu Ming in astonishment and asked, Could it be that you have it too? That's right. When I got close to the Demon Steel Mountain, my second bloodline became hot and restless. It's as if something is attracting it. If I didn't control it, it would have appeared on its own. Lu Ming frowned slightly. He felt that this matter was inconceivable. Xiao, what's in the Demon Steel Mountain? I don't know. I only walked around the periphery and didn't go deep. The Demon Steel Mountain was covered in fog and I couldn't see clearly. I originally planned to study this demon statue before entering the Demon Steel Mountain. Xian said. Then, the two of them discussed for a while but still couldn't come to a conclusion. In the end, they decided to explore the Demon Steel Mountain. This was because Xian had entered the Demon Steel Mountain without any danger. The two of them chatted for a while more before walking out of the mountain river diagram and looking at the Demon Steel Mountain in the distance. Chapter 1147. The two of them concealed their auras and approached the Devil Steel Mountain. Along the way, they felt the aura of the Devil clan and went around them. The two of them were getting closer and closer to the Devil Steel Mountain. The closer they got, the more the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline in Lu Ming's body throbbed. Soon, the two of them were 100 miles away from the Devil Steel Mountain. There was already a faint black mist here. The two of them did not retreat and continued forward. 100 miles passed in the blink of an eye and they entered the Devil Steel Mountain. Mo. Suddenly, a loud roar sounded in Lu Ming's mind. This voice was filled with a sense of lawlessness, but it also revealed a sense of helplessness and unwillingness. The black mist filled the area. With their cultivation, they could not see more than 20 meters around them. Moreover, there was a terrifying pressure on their bodies that made it difficult for them to fly. They could only land and walk forward. Little Qing, be careful. Lu Ming held Xian hand and walked forward carefully. Buzz. Lu Ming's spine was filled with blood-red light. The suppressing Hell Steel bloodline was throbbing more and more intensely. Lu Ming controlled the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline to prevent it from manifesting. The two of them walked for half a day and felt that they were already halfway up the mountain. They were getting closer and closer to the peak. The throbbing feeling came from the peak. Xian also felt a strong attraction to this place, which caused her bloodline to throb. There are so many skeletons. Suddenly, Lu Ming saw many skeletons on the ground. The skeletons were not big and they were obviously the skeletons of the Devil clan. It was said that many members of the Devil clan had died here. It seemed to be true. Moreover, the skeletons all had storage rings on their fingers. Xian Yanqing grabbed at the air and a storage ring appeared in her hand. In the next moment, Xian Yanqing took out a pile of black stones from the storage ring. The stones were filled with dense demonic qi. This is a devil stone. It's very useful to those who practice the devil Dao. To me, it's even more useful than origin stones. Xian Yanqing explained. There are quite a few storage rings here. Perhaps they all have magic stones. Take them. When we leave this place in the future, they will be of great use to you. Lu Ming said. He reached out and sucked in the rings of holding and handed them over to Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing cultivated the demonic Dao. These demon stones were most suitable for Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing took them and put them away. Then, the two of them searched around and found many skeletons of the Wuxia clan. Of course, there were also skeletons of humans, but there were very few of them. Demon. Devil. Demon. At this point, the sound became louder and louder. This sound directly affected one's mind and did not enter one's ears. It was as if there was a peerless demon emperor shouting and roaring from above. The two of them continued to move forward. Along the way, they kept the storage rings of the skeletons of the Wuxia clan. Along the way, they collected more than 100 storage rings and a large number of magic stones. Putting everything else aside, the storage rings alone were worth a lot of money. After another half a day, the two of them finally arrived at the top of the mountain. Along the way, the two of them did not encounter any danger. This made the two of them secretly amazed. The Devil Steel Mountain was very dangerous. Those who entered would die. This could be seen from the skeletons of the Wuxia clan and the human skeletons that they saw along the way. However, their journey was calm and tranquil. Apart from the Wuxia clan's cries, there was no other sound. Buzz. When they arrived at the top of the mountain, Lu Ming's spine was filled with blood-red light. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was beating wildly. Even Lu Ming could not suppress it. With a loud rumble, the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline appeared and expanded rapidly. Buzz. At the top of the mountain in front of them, a terrifying rumble could be heard. Then, they saw the black fog rolling and separating into two sides. The scenery in front of them was completely exposed. Seeing the scene in front of them, their hearts trembled violently. They were dumbfounded. There was also a stele in front of them. A stone stele. This stone stele was incomparably huge. It stood tall like a majestic mountain. There was only one big word on the stone stele. Steel. There was only one word at the top of the stone stele. It was uneven, as if it was not a complete stone stele. It seemed to be only a part of a stone stele. The stone stele was filled with an ancient aura. Its color looked very similar to Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel's bloodline. Buzz. Lu Ming's prison-suppressing stele flew out and stopped in front of the stone stele. The two of them vibrated continuously and emitted a bright light as if they were responding to each other. Lu Ming, why do I feel that your bloodline and this stone stele are so similar? It's as if they are one. Xian Yanqing was extremely surprised. Lu Ming was also extremely shocked. This was because he felt that the stone stele gave him a very familiar feeling. He knew that the throbbing from before had originated from this stone stele. The two stone steles shook violently as blinding light filled the air. The experts of the Devil Temple clan who were entrenched in the surroundings of the Devil Steel Mountain also noticed it. The Devil Steel Mountain is acting strangely. Could it be that a peerless treasure has appeared? Dazzling light. A peerless treasure has appeared. Let's go and take a look. Numerous figures gathered towards the Devil Steel Mountain, each of them exuding boundless devil aura. They were all experts of the Devil Temple clan. The weakest of them was at the 5th level of the Spirit God Realm, and there were even 7th level Spirit God Realm experts. A group of Demon Sha clan members appeared 100 miles away from the Devil Steel Mountain. At this moment, the black mist on the Devil Steel Mountain had become very thin. They could clearly see the huge stone stele emitting a bright light. However, the Demon Sha clan members stopped there and did not dare to go any closer. The Devil Steel Mountain's ferocious reputation was not just for show. Those who entered would die. However, looking at the shining stone stele, the Demon Sha clan members could not help themselves. Now that the Devil Steel Mountain has changed, it might not be dangerous. That's right. I saw that human girl go in and bring out a devil statue. She's fine. It's time for the Devil Steel Mountain to appear. Shriveled voices sounded one after another. The eyes of the Demon Sha clan members were burning with passion. Charge! A group of Demon Sha clan members could not help but roar as they charged towards the Devil Steel Mountain. When they charged into the range of the Devil Steel Mountain, a voice sounded in their minds, "Demon! Demon! Demon!" The demonic sound was filled with a terrifying destructive power. Some 5th-level spiritual god and 6th-level spiritual god realm Demon Sha clan members screamed as their bodies fell from the sky like dumplings in a pot. They fell to the ground without any signs of life. They were dead. At least 20 Demon Sha clan members had died in an instant. A few 7th-level spiritual god realm Demon Sha clan members roared as they retreated frantically with blood flowing out of their 7 orifices. It can destroy souls. A 7th-level spiritual god realm Demon Sha clan member roared as he retreated a few hundred miles. Chapter 1148. On the top of the demonic steel mountain, Lu Ming's suppressing prison steel bloodline resonated with the huge steel. At this moment, the tremors were getting more and more intense. Buzz. The huge steel let out a buzzing sound, and the entire mountain shook along with it. Huge rocks on the ground exploded as the steel slowly rose up. The steel rose up as if it wanted to follow the suppressing prison's steel bloodline out of the mountain. Slowly, the steel rose up inch by inch. It seemed like a section of the steel was embedded into the mountain. Boom! Suddenly, a terrifying aura erupted from under the steel. This aura was extremely domineering, as if it could dominate the world. At the same time, a monstrous demonic aura spread out, as if a supreme demon was about to be born. Amidst the monstrous demonic aura, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing could vaguely see a tall figure under the steel. This person was a middle-aged man with a burly figure. His black hair draped over his shoulders, and his demonic aura was overwhelming. He looked like a demon god. The aura of a sovereign. This is a sovereign, a demon sovereign. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He could feel the majestic aura of a sovereign from this figure. This was the unique aura of a sovereign. Could it be that this steel is suppressing a sovereign, a demon sovereign? Lu Ming's mind raced, and he thought of many things. How many years has it been? I can finally escape. An excited roar came from the demonic figure's mouth, and a terrifying aura rushed out, attacking Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's 5-colored intent surrounded his body, and his true yuan surged. The dragon force burst out to resist this pressure. On the other hand, the heavenly demon bloodline appeared above Xian Yanqing's head, and demonic aura bloomed, blocking this aura. No, I can't let this demon sovereign come out. Otherwise, Shao Qing and I won't be able to withstand a slap from him. Lu Ming's mind turned, and his eyes focused. His mind was completely immersed in the suppressing prison's steel bloodline. Come back! Lu Ming roared in his heart. Bloody light spread out from his spine, and he used all his strength to control the suppressing prison's steel bloodline. The prison suppressing steel's bloodline shook violently. Slowly, it was pulled back inch by Lu Ming. Come back! Get back here! Lu Ming kept roaring in his heart. The bloody light seemed to be on the verge of materializing, and his eyes were bloodshot. In the end, the prison-suppressing monument bloodline was pulled back by Lu Ming. It turned into a bloody light and flew into Lu Ming's spine, disappearing without a trace. Boom! The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was retracted. The light of the huge steel dimmed and fell down again. No! Beneath the stone tablet, a roar of unwillingness could be heard. With a loud boom, the huge stone tablet pressed down heavily, causing the entire mountain to shake violently. The monstrous demon might also disappeared in an instant. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing felt their bodies lighten as they exhaled deeply at the same time. The two of them looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. The two of them did not expect that there would be a demon king suppressed on the Devil Steel Mountain. It was no wonder that the Devil Temple clan members had died. It must be the Demon King's doing. Lu Ming, the reason why I felt my bloodline throbbing and the strong attraction force is most likely because of the Demon King. Xian Yanqing said in a low voice. That should be the case. Lu Ming nodded. Xian Yanqing felt it because of the Demon King, while he felt it because of the huge stone tablet. It was a broken stone tablet. What is this stone tablet? Why is it resonating with the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline? Lu Ming had many questions in his heart. Lad, quickly use your bloodline and let me out. At this moment, a deep voice came from beneath the prison-suppressing steel. It was the Demon King. Senior, you are the Demon King, and the two of us are only low-level spiritual gods. If we let you out and you kill us with a single slap, wouldn't we be wronged? Lu Ming pondered for a moment before he spoke. Since you know that I am the Demon King, why would I do such a thing? Since you saved me, you are my benefactor, and I will definitely repay you generously. The Demon King continued to speak from beneath the stone tablet. Even so, I still don't trust you. Lu Ming spoke bluntly. Lu Ming didn't dare to be careless when facing a monarch realm expert. Otherwise, he would be killed with a single slap, and that would be an injustice. There was silence beneath the stone tablet, and it seemed like the Demon King was thinking about what to say. After a short while, the voice sounded again. Lad, your bloodline should be the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline, right? I never expected that there would actually be someone who could awaken such a bloodline in the world. Lu Ming's eyes flashed, but he didn't speak. Lad, let me tell you something. This stone tablet before you is the real hell-suppressing steel, and it's the main body of your bloodline. The Demon King's voice shook Lu Ming's heart. What? This damaged stone tablet is the real hell-suppressing steel? Lu Ming's eyes suddenly opened wide while tempestuous waves arose in his heart, and he gazed at the enormous stone tablet with disbelief. Otherwise, why do you think your bloodline can resonate with this stone tablet? It's because they are one. The Demon King continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were extremely astounded. According to legend, all bloodlines awakened by cultivators were traceable in the world, and they really existed. Some might have gone extinct during the primeval times and the ancient times, and some might even be found in the modern era. Lu Ming had thought that the hell-suppressing steel was an ancient artifact from the distant past, and he never expected that he would see its true form in the world. This made it difficult for him to calm down. According to legend, the hell-suppressing steel was a supreme divine artifact in the distant past. Later on, there was a great war and it was shattered into several pieces. The stone tablet before you is a fragment of the hell-suppressing steel. The hell-suppressing steel suppresses all things in the world. If not for this steel, how could it have suppressed this emperor? The Demon King explained to Lu Ming, his voice brimming with unparalleled confidence. Thus, as long as you control your bloodline, you can take away this hell-suppressing steel. If your bloodline can fuse with the real hell-suppressing steel, you will obtain enormous benefits, and you will also obtain a supreme divine artifact. If you can gather all the other fragments of the hell-suppressing steel in the future, you can use this treasure to dominate the world. The Demon King continued, his words full of temptation. Lu Ming was truly tempted, and his eyes burned with passion. In the end, a bloodline was only a bloodline. It could be called an illusion, possessing part of the power of a real object. It could also be called a kind of inheritance. For example, a cultivator with a true dragon bloodline could comprehend a true dragon battle skill and borrow part of the true dragon's power. The stronger they were, the more power they could display. But in the end, it was not the real body, and it could not be as powerful as the real body. But with the help of the real body, it was a different story. Lu Ming had never imagined that he would encounter the true form of the hell-suppressing steel's bloodline. Now that he had encountered it, he truly did not want to miss it. Lu Ming furrowed his brows tightly. Various thoughts were running through his mind. Should he let it go or not? Chapter 1150. Seeing that Lu Ming seemed to be tempted, the Fiend Emperor continued, "Furthermore, this girl's bloodline is extremely similar to mine. If I were to come out, I can pass on all my skills to her. Given her talent, it will be easy for her to become a king in the future. She might even surpass me in the future. The demon emperor continued to throw out temptations that were hard to resist. The mantle of a demon emperor was definitely a great temptation. Lu Ming, it's all up to you. Xian Yanqing grabbed Lu Ming's hand and said, Shao Qing, I finally found you. How could I bring you along with me? I don't care about these worldly possessions. Lu Ming grabbed Xian Yanqing's hand and was about to leave. Come back, what are you doing? Don't you trust me? Am I, Xiao Wan, the kind of person who goes back on his words? Seeing that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were about to leave, the fiend emperor panicked and shouted continuously. As soon as he said that, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's bodies shook violently at the same time. There was a look of disbelief in their eyes. Xiao Wan? The emperor of chaotic sky, Xiao Wan? How was this possible? The two turned around and glanced at the giant boulder. You're Xiao Wan? Xian Yanqing's eyes were filled with disbelief. Xiao Wan was a peerless figure of the imperial Xie clan 30,000 years ago. He was also the taboo of the imperial Xie clan. He had single-handedly changed the situation of the Middle Continent, from the ancient sacred dynasty to the current state of affairs. It was all because of Xiao Wan. He had a mutated bloodline of the Xie clan, just like Xian Yanqing. However, how was it possible that someone from 30,000 years ago was still alive? That's right, I'm Xiao Wan, the Emperor of Chaotic Sky, Xiao Wan. Girl, your bloodline is very similar to mine. You must have a mutated bloodline of the Xie clan, right? The demon emperor let out a meaningful laugh. Impossible, as far as I know, a dominator can only live for 10 to 20,000 years. If you're Xiao Wan, how could you still be alive? Lu Ming shouted. Just now, when the stone steel floated up, he had clearly sensed the aura of life, and not a wisp of imprint, which meant that Xiao Wan was still alive. How could an emperor live for 30,000 years? This is all thanks to the prison-suppressing steel. It's suppressing my body and slowing down the flow of my life force by several times. 30,000 years is equivalent to 10,000 years for me. If I were to be suppressed for another 30,000 years, I would really be gone. The demon emperor explained with a sigh. But Lu Ming's eyes were still flickering. Lu Ming, what this person said must be true. I can sense that this person is of the same bloodline as me. Our bloodlines are very similar. Xian Yanqing whispered to Lu Ming. Was the other party really Xiao Wan? The two of them still found it hard to calm down. It was said that when Xiao Wan rebelled, he fought a great battle with the royal family. The battle caused the heavens to collapse and the earth to rend. Xiao Wan killed countless experts from the royal family. In the end, Xiao Wan was still defeated and killed by the royal family's experts. Could it be that Xiao Wan was not dead, but was suppressed here? No one in the royal family could kill me. They could only use the prison-suppressing steel to suppress me here, hoping that time would wear me down. But they did not expect that although the prison-suppressing steel suppressed me, it also slowed down the flow of my life force by several times. Kid, you and this girl from the Xie family must have been exiled here by the Xie family of the royal family. I can imagine that after what happened to me, the Xie family of the royal family must be 10 times more cautious of those with foreign bloodlines. I find it strange that they did not kill you directly. The demon emperor continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing remained silent. Do you want to be exiled to the demon realm for the rest of your life? As long as you let me out, I can take you and break out of the 9 underworlds. Don't worry, I, Xiao Wan, am a man of my word. I will repay kindness with kindness and revenge with revenge. The demon emperor continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were very tempted by his words. It was even more tempting than obtaining the prison-suppressing steel or the demon emperor's inheritance. The biggest problem they were facing now was how to get out. Obviously, Xia Qitian wanted to exile them here and trap them in the demon realm for the rest of their lives. But Lu Ming still had many things to do. Di was besieging the Yin and Yang mountain. His family and friends were all there. He had to get out. Okay, I'll let you out. In the end, Lu Ming decided to take a gamble. This was the only chance now. Okay, you just need to control the prison-suppressing steel bloodline and put it away. That's all. The demon emperor said. Buzz. Lu Ming did not hesitate. With a thought, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared, it had a strong reaction with the huge steel. It grew rapidly, vibrated, and emitted a bright light. "Put it away!" Lu Ming shouted. He controlled the prison-suppressing steel bloodline to put the huge steel away. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The huge steel kept vibrating. The word steel on it was shining. It resonated with the word steel on the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. It was almost identical. Whether it was the strokes or the aura, it was the same. Lu Ming was sure that this was the real body of the prison-suppressing steel. It was a fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. The fragment of the prison-suppressing steel slowly floated up and rose into the air. Below, the demonic chi filled the sky. The burly figure appeared again. Vast demonic chi spread between heaven and earth. "Put it away!" Lu Ming shouted. The fragment of the prison-suppressing steel vibrated and flew up into the sky with a boom. But below, the demonic shadow flew up with the prison-suppressing steel and disappeared into it. A huge demonic shadow was trapped in the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. "What's going on?" Lu Ming was a little surprised. "Sigh, I've been suppressed by the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel for too long. My demonic body is almost destroyed and my demonic chi is almost exhausted. My demonic chi and the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel have almost merged into one. Even if the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel leaves the ground, it's still suppressing me. I can't escape unless my cultivation recovers to the monarch realm." The demonic emperor, Xiel Wan, sighed. "I see. Then how are you going to help us fight our way out of the abyss?" Lu Ming asked. "That's simple. You just have to merge the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel with your bloodline and put it into your spine. This fragment of the prison-suppressing steel will be under your initial control. As long as you withdraw the suppressive force, I can escape from the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. However, you can't be too far away from the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. Otherwise, you'll still be suppressed by the prison-suppressing steel." Xiel Wan explained. Lu Ming nodded. He started to control the prison-suppressing steel bloodline and merged it with the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. After a while, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline merged with the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. At this time, the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel shrunk rapidly and merged with the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. One could clearly see that the lower part of the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was shining brightly as if it was real. It occupied about 1/3 of the area, while the upper 2/3 still looked unreal. This was the real fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. There was no mistake. Withdraw. Chapter 1151. Following this, Lu Ming summoned the prison-suppressing steel bloodline again. "If I use the bloodline fusion now and turn into the prison-suppressing steel, its power will be shocking." Lu Ming's heart stirred. He could sense a vast power emanating from the prison-suppressing monument's bloodline. The prison-suppressing steel bloodline's grade didn't increase. It was still at the 7th level of the divine grade, but Lu Ming could feel that its power was shocking. If he used the bloodline fusion, it would be as powerful as a 9th level divine grade bloodline. "My cultivation is still too weak. I can't fully unleash the power of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. As my cultivation increases, I'll be able to unleash even more power." Lu Ming had many thoughts and a smile appeared on his face. This way, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline fusion would become his strongest trump card. "I wonder if the prison-suppressing heaven skill will be more powerful?" Lu Ming was looking forward to it. He could see that Xiel Wan's figure was still at the bottom of the prison-suppressing steel. Lu Ming's consciousness sank into the prison-suppressing steel bloodline and adjusted the suppressing power of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline towards Xiel Wan. The prison-suppressing steel shook and Xiel Wan's figure stepped out of the prison-suppressing steel and appeared in the air. Boom! A vast demonic aura burst out and pierced through the clouds. "Haha, I'm finally out." Xiel Wan laughed. His long hair was loose and his eyebrows were sharp. One could tell that he was a handsome man when he was young. But now, he seemed to have gone mad. Lu Ming could understand. After being suppressed for 30,000 years, it was already good enough that he didn't go mad. After a while, Xiaoluan finally calmed down. He looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and said, "Let's go. I'll bring you out." A surge of demonic energy swept Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Xiaoluan stepped out and appeared outside the demonic steel mountain. Many demonic temple clansmen looked at them in shock. "I happen to have some tonics that can help me recover some of my strength," said Xiaoluan coldly. In the next instant, a terrifying demonic qi exploded from Xiaoluan's body and enveloped all of the Demon Sha clan. "Not good, let's go. Save me." Shrill screams could be heard from the demonic aura. Lu Ming saw many 5th level and 6th level spirit gods of the Masha clan being unable to put up any resistance. They turned into ashes one after another, turning into pure energy that was absorbed by Xiaoluan. Xiaoluan's body was like a bottomless abyss that constantly absorbed the energy. The Masha clansmen at the 7th level of the spirit god realm were still able to resist for a while, but as Xiaoluan took a step forward, they exploded in the air and turned into energy that was absorbed by Xiaoluan. Xiaoluan's skin kept wriggling, and his aura also became a little stronger. It's a pity that these demon temple clan members are too weak. My immortal demon body has only recovered a little. It's still far from my peak. Xiaoluan sighed. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were secretly shocked. Xiaoluan was indeed the demon emperor that shook the world. He was really terrifying. After being suppressed for 30,000 years, he had just come out and his strength was already very shocking. "We can't stay here for long. I'm afraid that the Imperial Xia clan will soon find out. Now, let's kill our way out." Xiaoluan's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He wrapped Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing with his demonic qi and stepped out. His speed was terrifyingly fast as he rushed towards the exit of the demon realm. In just a short moment, they had crossed an unknown distance. The city that was the exit of the demon realm was already in sight. Above the city, there was a light shield that enveloped the entire city. Looking from the sky, there were experts guarding the city. In an instant, Xiaoluan appeared above the city with Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and slapped down with his palm. A terrifying palm print bombarded the light shield. The light shield shook violently and a hole was blasted open. Xiaoluan took a step forward and rushed in. "Who's there?" "Shit, a devil has intruded." Numerous loud roars resounded in the city as numerous powerful auras rose up and charged towards Xiaoluan. So many experts. Lu Ming was secretly shocked when he sensed the aura. Those auras were extremely powerful, overbearing, and terrifying. Many of them were existences at the 5th or 6th level of the spirit god realm. There were even quite a few existences at the 7th level of the spirit god realm and above. "Become my tonics." Xiaoluan's eyes were icy cold as he blasted out with his palm. A group of spirit god realm experts were blasted apart and transformed into surging energy that surged into Xiaoluan's body. His aura grew stronger and stronger. Shrill cries resounded incessantly as experts were killed one after another. "Shit, he's too strong." Those experts turned pale with fright and retreated madly. "You're courting death." At this moment, a few terrifying auras rose up from the depths of the city, and a few figures instantly appeared in front of them. "They're so strong. They've surpassed the 8th level of the spirit god realm." Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The few people that appeared later were absolutely terrifying. Their auras were so strong that they were at the 8th level of the spirit god realm and above. 2 of their auras were vast and unfathomable. 2 9th-level spirit gods and 2 perfection stage spirit gods. Xiaoluan sneered as he charged over. Boundless devil qi condensed into a saber that slashed towards them. The other party erupted with powerful combat strength as well, and terrifying attacks rained down towards Xiaoluan. The entire city shook and emitted dazzling light as numerous grand formations were activated. If it wasn't for these grand formations, the city would have been blasted apart. Suddenly, a shrill cry resounded as a 9th-level spirit god realm expert's head was chopped off by Xiaoluan. After that, his spirit god flew out and was swept by devil qi before being absorbed by Xiaowan. Xiaowan's aura grew even stronger. The expressions of the remaining 3 people changed drastically. They actually didn't dare block Xiaowan's attack and retreated with extreme speed. Xiaowan didn't pursue them and charged towards the exit with Lu Ming and Xiaowan. "Where do you think you're going?" A vast voice resounded as an enormous palm print condensed into form in the sky. It was as large as a mountain and suffused with a profound aura. That aura was much stronger than the concept of heaven and earth. A prime. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. A prime had made a move. A prime was actually considered a perfection stage spirit god, but a prime was already half a step into the martial emperor realm and had some of the power of a martial emperor. His combat strength was much stronger than other perfection stage spirit gods. Xiaowan's face turned solemn as a prime made a move. The devil saber in his hand emitted a terrifying demonic aura. Luantian, devil saber. Xiaowan slashed out with his saber, and the sky was split into 2 halves. The terrifying black saber light slashed onto the enormous palm. Boom! A shocking explosion resounded as the enormous palm was split apart by the devil saber. However, Xiaowan's figure also retreated rapidly. A white-haired old man stepped out in front of him. The aura of a prime was clearly displayed from his body. "What kind of demonic being dares to barge into this place?" The white-haired old man spoke, but he was stunned before he could finish his sentence. His eyes widened as he stared at Xiaowan. His eyes were filled with extreme fear, shock, and disbelief. How is this possible? Chapter 1152. White-haired sovereign was completely stunned when he saw Xiaowan. He widened his eyes in shock and forgot to attack. Xiaowan took the opportunity to lead Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing to the exit. Several experts tried to stop them, but they were all slapped away by Xiaowan. Xiaowan led Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing into the light gate and disappeared. White-haired sovereign only came back to his senses when he saw Xiaowan and Lu Ming disappear. "Sovereign, who is that man? Why is he so powerful?" An expert flew to white-haired sovereign and asked. They were puzzled. White-haired sovereign could have stopped Xiaowan, but he stopped at the critical moment. "I have seen a portrait of this man. He is the divine lord of Luantian, Xiaowan." White-haired sovereign said solemnly. "What?" The others widened their eyes in disbelief. "Go after him!" White-haired sovereign shouted and chased after Xiaowan. The surroundings shook, and Lu Ming and the others appeared from another light gate. This light gate was the entrance to the holy city. "Kill!" Xiaowan charged upward as soon as he appeared. Demonic qi billowed as he broke through all the barriers at the entrance. Xiaowan broke through all the barriers and finally rushed out of the ground and into the sky. Rip. Xiaowan tore the space apart and led Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing into the space crack and disappeared. At this moment, Xia Qiyan, who was sitting cross-legged in the center of the holy city, suddenly opened his eyes. There was a look of surprise in his eyes. What a strong demonic qi and demonic power. This is the entrance to the 9 underworlds. Did something happen there? Xia Qiyan murmured. He then got up and took a step forward. The space cracked automatically and his figure disappeared. The next moment, he appeared in the sky above the entrance to the 9 underworlds. At that moment, the white-haired utmost exalted was rushing out in a hurry. He just so happened to run into Xia Qiyan. "Sacred Emperor, something bad has happened." White-haired sovereign said in a panic. "What's the matter?" Xia Qiyan frowned. He had a bad premonition. What could make a supreme martial artist so flustered? "Holy Emperor, it's Xiaowan. I saw Xiaowan." The white-haired paragon said. "What?" Xia Qiyan's eyes widened, and he looked horrified. "What did you say? You said that the person who rushed out of the 9 underworlds was Xiaowan, the divine lord of chaotic skies?" Xia Qiyan asked several times, which showed how terrified he was. "They look exactly the same. I don't know if it's real or not." The white-haired paragon said. "Let's go and take a look." Even though Xia Qiyan was a saint emperor and would not change his expression in the face of trouble, After hearing that it was Xiao Wan, he lost his sense of propriety and became extremely anxious. Xiao Wan was a taboo in the imperial Xie family. Back then, the imperial Xie family dominated the central continent and even the divine wilderness continent. They were extremely prosperous and had as many experts as there were clouds in the sky. However, because of Xiao Wan, their strength had plummeted and their strength had declined greatly. Now, if Xiao Wan really appeared, with the current strength of the imperial family, how could they fight against him? Xie Qitian hurriedly entered the 9 underworlds and tore the space apart. Soon he arrived at the Demon Steel Mountain. Standing in the air above the Demon Steel Mountain and looking at the empty Demon Steel Mountain, Xie Qitian's body emitted a terrifying aura. 30,000 years. How could he still be alive after 30,000 years? Xie Qitian muttered to himself. Whoosh, whoosh. The space fluctuated, and 2 old men appeared beside Xie Qitian. Their vast rulers might fill the air. Near the Demon Steel Mountain, there were some scattered Demon Sha clan experts. When they felt the terrifying aura in the sky, they all fled for their lives. The demon steel that suppressed Xiao Wan is gone. Could it be that Xiao Wan is still alive? How could he be alive after 30,000 years? An old divine lord said with a trembling voice. There was a trace of shock in his voice. They knew about the strange phenomenon on the Demon Steel Mountain before, but they did not pay much attention to it. They thought that it was just a trace of Xiao Wan's remaining demonic consciousness. After all, how could an emperor live for 30,000 years without dying? It seemed to go against the rules of heaven and earth. They did not know that the steel that suppressed Xiao Wan was the prison-suppressing steel. They also did not know that the prison-suppressing steel had slowed down the speed of Xiao Wan's life. Xiao Wan is simply heaven-defying. He can't be judged by common sense. Moreover, the guard said that he brought Lu Ming and Yanqing with him. This must be related to them. Xie Qitian said. His voice was filled with coldness. Your Majesty, what do you plan to do? An old divine lord asked. Even if Xiao Wan is still alive, he can't be unharmed after being suppressed for 30,000 years. He must have lost a lot of his vitality and strength. Otherwise, with Xiao Wan's personality, he wouldn't be in such a hurry to escape. Please use the Tianji apparatus and lock onto Xiao Wan, lock onto Lu Ming's location. At the same time, spread the message to all Overlord forces to kill Lu Ming. Those who succeed will be rewarded with a tribulation heavenly treasure. At this moment, Xie Qitian had regained his composure and regained the demeanor of a divine lord. At first, he wanted to say Xiao Wan, but then he changed his tone and said Lu Ming. He had a vague feeling that this matter must have something to do with Lu Ming. In the past, Xian Yanqing had been in the 9 underworlds for so long, and nothing had happened. However, Lu Ming had only been in there for a short while, and such a big mess had happened. He didn't believe that it was a coincidence. Yes, Your Majesty. The 2 old divine lords bowed. Xiao Wan took Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and tore through space. After 7 or 8 times, Xiao Wan stopped. His breath was weak. I've been suppressed for 30,000 years, and my vitality is greatly damaged. My devil body almost collapsed, and I don't have much strength left. The supplements I absorbed before were too weak, and now they're almost used up. I can't help you anymore. Xiao Wan sighed. Senior, how can you recover? Lu Ming asked. I need supplements. I can naturally recover by killing experts. If I can kill a divine lord, I might be able to recover my strength. Xiao Wan smiled. Lu Ming was speechless. Kill a divine lord? Forget it. He didn't want to die. Of course, there are other ways. Although I was suppressed back then, I still have a backup plan. Take me to the border between the central continent and the east continent. I have a backup plan there. If I can recover some of my strength when I get there, I will be able to protect myself by then. Xiao Wan said. Lu Ming nodded. It was normal for someone like Xiao Wan to have a backup plan. Then, Xiao Wan told Lu Ming an address, and turned into a beam of light. He disappeared from Lu Ming's spine and entered the fragments of the prison-suppressing steel. Let's go! Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing looked at each other and flew toward the east. But not long after, the two suddenly stopped. Chapter 1153. Oh no, is this the divine secret apparatus? Xian Yanqing cried out in alarm, bewildered. Divine secret apparatus? What's that? Lu Ming looked at the ball of light above his head and frowned. How was he going to travel with such a big ball of light above his head? At this time, Xie Qitian's figure reappeared. He looked at the sky and sighed. Sure enough, the imperial family used the divine secret apparatus. Senior, what's the divine secret apparatus? Lu Ming asked. You should know about the divine secret chamber of commerce, right? Xie Qitian said. Lu Ming nodded and said, It said that the divine secret chamber of commerce is controlled by the imperial Xie family. That's right, the divine secret chamber of commerce was established by the imperial Xie family. Their purpose is to obtain information from all over the world. They use the divine secret apparatus to gain insight into many things that others don't know. At the same time, the divine secret apparatus has another function, which is to pursue and capture. As long as they can grasp someone's aura and activate the divine secret apparatus, they can condense a projection of the divine secret apparatus above that person's head and find that person's location. Now, the imperial family has activated the divine secret apparatus. The divine secret apparatus's projection will emit a kind of divine secret force field. As long as an inscriber refines a disk array that can sense the divine secret force field, they can sense the approximate location of the divine secret apparatus's projection and lock onto your location. I'm afraid it won't be long before you are found. Xiaowan said. Is it really that magical? Lu Ming frowned. He channeled the true yuan in his body and threw out a few punches. A few fist auras soared into the sky and pierced through space, but they were completely useless against the projection of the heavenly secrets apparatus. They simply passed through the projection. It's useless. The divine secret apparatus's projection can't be destroyed. Unless the other party stops the divine secret apparatus, the divine secret apparatus's projection will always be there. Xiaowan said. I don't believe it. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He formed a seal with his hands and two light gates appeared in the sky. The Divine Gate 9 seals sealing gate. The two light gates landed on both sides of the divine secret apparatus's projection, emitting a bright light. Under the light of the sealing gate, the divine secret apparatus's projection dimmed and slowly shrunk. 9 seals of the divine gate? Xiaowan's eyes. Bang, bang. In the sky, the projection of the celestial secrets apparatus that was about to dim suddenly shone brightly, and the 2 sealed doors exploded. The 9 seals of the divine gate are useless. Lu Ming frowned. I didn't expect you to have mastered the divine gate 9 seals. This is the ultimate technique of the sky sealing sovereign. With the divine gate 9 seals, you should be able to seal the divine secret instrument's projection for a period of time. However, your cultivation is too weak, so you can't seal it. How about this? Teach me the divine gate 9 seals. Once I comprehend it, I'll be able to seal the divine secret instrument's projection for a period of time and buy us some time. Xiaowan suggested. Alright. Lu Ming agreed without a second thought. It was just a secret technique. So what if he taught it to Xiaowan? As long as it could solve their current predicament. At that moment, Lu Ming gave the jade talisman that recorded the 9 seals to Xiaowan. Xiaowan's eyes lit up. He didn't expect Lu Ming to be so decisive. This kid will definitely be a top figure in the future. Xiaowan thought to himself. Alright, keep flying east. As long as you keep moving, it'll make it harder for the other party to find you. Xiaowan said. With that, Xiaowan entered the fragments of the prison-suppressing steel. Little Qing, you enter the mountain river diagram. Lu Ming looked at Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing nodded. She also understood that it would be easier for Lu Ming to move alone. With a flash of light, Xian Yanqing entered the mountain river diagram. Lu Ming took a step forward and continued flying toward the east. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps to travel. He was as fast as a flash of light. Moreover, Lu Ming specifically flew in remote directions. On this day, the entire middle continent was shaken. The royal Xie family sent a message to all the major forces in the world. Not only the overlords, but also the second-tier forces sent a message. The royal family activated the heavenly secret instrument and condensed a heavenly secret projection on Lu Ming's body. They called on all major forces to kill Lu Ming. The royal family would reward those who killed Lu Ming with a tribulation transcendence heavenly treasure. As soon as the news came out, Middle Continent was in an uproar. The royal family activated the divine secret instrument, and their target was Lu Ming. If they remembered correctly, didn't Lu Ming enter the abyss after the million-year sacrifice? Many people who knew the inside story knew that the score Xie Qitian set for Lu Ming was to lock him up for the rest of his life. It was impossible for him to reach that score. But now, the royal family activated the divine secret instrument to kill Lu Ming. How did Lu Ming escape? Most importantly, the treasure rewarded by the royal family was a heavenly treasure. This shocked all the major forces, regardless of whether they were overlords or second-tier forces. Then they became greedy. The royal Xie family was actually willing to give out a heavenly treasure? As the name suggested, a heavenly treasure could help a martial artist transcend the tribulation. A martial artist would face many tribulations along the way. Putting other tribulations aside, just the heavenly tribulations alone were not few. There would be a heavenly tribulation when one broke through to the martial king realm. There would be a heavenly tribulation when one broke through to the spirit god realm. There would also be a heavenly tribulation when one broke through to the emperor realm. There were many tribulations, and each one was more terrifying than the last. How many people could survive them? On the other hand, a heavenly treasure could help one transcend the tribulation. It could be used regardless of one's cultivation level. Using a heavenly treasure to break through to the martial king realm could be said to have a 100% success rate. Breaking through to the spirit god realm could also increase the success rate by 50%. Breaking through to the emperor realm could also increase the success rate of transcending the tribulation. How tempting was that? Which force? Which expert wouldn't be tempted? Moreover, a heavenly treasure could be used repeatedly. Once one person used it, another person could use it too. It was too important for a major force. How many experts could it increase? The most fatal temptation was for the supreme martial artists. The next step for supremes was to break through to the monarch realm. A heavenly treasure to transcend the tribulation was a fatal temptation to them. Immediately, the overlord forces and second-tier forces refined formation discs that could sense the heavenly secret force field to sense Lu Ming's location. Lu Ming flew all the way. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. He didn't know how far he had flown. There was a projection of the heavenly secret instrument above his head, so he naturally couldn't take the teleportation formation. He could only rely on himself to fly. Oh no, Lu Ming, there's a powerful existence approaching from the north. It's a perfection stage spirit god. Suddenly, Xie Luan's voice sounded in Lu Ming's ears. A perfection stage spirit god? Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. With his current cultivation, he would only die if he encountered a perfection stage spirit god. He wouldn't have the slightest chance of resisting. I'll take you away. Xie Luan's figure appeared, and he used his remaining strength to tear open space. He took Lu Ming into space and disappeared. Chapter 1154. Somewhere far away, the space cracked open and Xie Luan stepped out of the crack with Lu Ming. At this moment, the demonic qi on Xie Luan's body had dimmed. Lu Ming, I've done my best and exhausted the last of my strength. I can't tear the space apart anymore. It's up to you now. Xie Luan said. Lu Ming nodded and frowned slightly. He was thinking of finding a place to hide in the mountain river diagram and wait for Xie Luan to complete the divine gate 9 seals. He didn't believe that the divine secret instrument's projection could still appear in the mountain river diagram. At this moment, Xie Luan's gaze flickered. He looked in one direction and sneered. I didn't expect that even some 5th and 6th level spirit gods would join in the fun. Lu Ming, you should have no problem dealing with 5th and 6th level spirit gods, right? Get me some tonics. After saying that, Xie Luan entered Lu Ming's body and disappeared. Lu Ming stood in the air and waited quietly. Swoosh, swoosh. Not long after, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. Rays of sword light pierced through the void and flew towards him. In a flash, the 5 rays of sword light dissipated and 5 figures stood around Lu Ming, surrounding Lu Ming in the middle. There were old men and middle-aged men among the 5 figures, but they all wore the same white robe and carried a long sword on their back. The Sky Martial Sword Sect. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a trace of cold killing intent. Among the 5, there were 2 6th-level Spirit God Realm and 3 5th-level Spirit God Realm. They were all from the Sky Martial Sword Sect. Lu Ming knew that this territory was most likely the Sky Martial Sword Sect's territory. Otherwise, how could he encounter 5 people from the Sky Martial Sword Sect at once? We're the first to find it. What great luck! A middle-aged man laughed loudly. His aura was violent and his 6th-level Spirit God Realm aura was revealed. His eyes were filled with blazing flames as he looked at Lu Ming. If he killed Lu Ming, he would get a Tribulation Transcendence heavenly treasure. At the thought of this, his heart trembled with excitement. Although this person is young, he can't be underestimated. I heard that in the Holy City, this person displayed a terrifying battle prowess that was second only to Long Chen. An old man at the 5th level of the Spirit God Realm spoke with a slightly solemn expression. What are you afraid of? No matter how strong he is, he's only at the 3rd level of the Spirit God Realm. We have 2 6th-level Spirit Gods and 3 5th-level Spirit Gods here. Can he still overturn the heavens? The robust middle-aged man from before said confidently. Are you done with your nonsense? At this moment, Lu Ming spoke out coldly, causing the 5 men from the Celestial Martial Sword Sect to be stunned as they looked at Lu Ming in bewilderment. If you're done with your nonsense, I'll send you on your way. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming's aura erupted. 8 strands of dragon force instantly erupted from his body. He took a step forward and charged towards a 5th-layer Spirit God expert, striking out with his palm. Rip. This palm strike was terrifyingly powerful. The space under the palm shattered like tofu. The terrifying aura completely enveloped the opponent. That man's eyes widened as he revealed a terrified expression. However, he didn't even have the chance to scream before he was torn apart by Lu Ming's terrifying power. Blood splattered across the sky. Damn it. You're courting death. How dare you sneak attack us? The other 4 men were slightly stunned. Then, they roared and unsheathed their battle swords. A vast sword aura soared into the sky. Kill. Lu Ming roared as the 3rd bloodline appeared above his head. A strand of energy poured into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body was covered in a bloody light as his killing intent swept out like a tide. A drop of blood turned into a bloody battle sword. Lu Ming held it in his hand and slashed out. A bloody light flashed and slashed towards the 6th-layer Spirit God middle-aged man. Shrouded by the endless murderous intent, the middle-aged burly man shuddered. His eyes were filled with horror. He tried his best to slash with his sword, but the sword gleam collapsed under Lu Ming's blood-colored sword gleam. The blood-colored sword gleam slashed the middle-aged burly man's glabella. Poochie. The middle-aged man was directly slashed into 2. Even the Spirit God didn't escape. The remaining 3 men were terrified when they saw this scene, and they were almost scared out of their wits. How could Lu Ming be so terrifying? A 6th-layer Spirit God expert was killed with a single sword strike. There was an entire 3 layers of difference between them. Flee! 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 At this moment, they only had a single thought in their hearts, and that was to flee. The further they fled, the better. This was a god of death. The 3 of them transformed into 3 sword lights and fled in 3 different directions with all their might. Lu Ming took a step forward and executed the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps to charge towards a 5th-layer Spirit God expert. He caught up to this person in an instant and slashed out with his sword. This person let out a roar of despair and resisted with all his might. However, it was useless. The sword light descended and destroyed everything. Poof! Blood splattered as a head flew off into the distance. At the same time, sword chi overflowed and minced this person's Spirit God. With such a delay, The other two had already flown a long distance away. Don't even think about leaving. Go. Lu Ming waved his hand, and the bloody sword in his hand transformed into a bloody light that charged towards a fifth-layer spirit god expert with extreme speed. On the other hand, Lu Ming executed the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and chased after the remaining 6th-layer spirit god expert. Lu Ming's figure was like a flowing light, and he caught up to his opponent in just a few breaths of time. Lu Ming, you've killed us. You'll die as well. The exalts of my Sky Martial Sword sect have already moved out. You can't escape. This person roared, and his eyes were filled with despair. He executed the bloodline fusion and transformed into a sword, wanting to fight to the death. Even if he died, he wanted to make Lu Ming pay a price. Unfortunately, his thoughts were destined to fail. Lu Ming executed the hell-suppressing heaven art and struck out with his palm. Ever since the hell-suppressing steel's bloodline had merged with a section of the real hell-suppressing steel, the power of the hell-suppressing heaven art had clearly increased when he executed it. Using the same amount of true yuan and the same level of the hell-suppressing heaven art, the power was much stronger than before. Coupled with the eruption of 8 dragon energies, Lu Ming's strength was truly terrifying at this moment. He was much stronger than when he fought the various geniuses in the Holy City. If he were to fight the underworld child now, Lu Ming was confident that he could defeat him in a few moves. Boom! The palm suppressed everything as if it possessed boundless power. It pressed down on the sky and chopped down on the sword that this person had transformed into. Under the palm, the sword was shattered into pieces, and the underworld child returned to his human form and coughed up blood. Under the second palm, the underworld child's body was torn apart. A blood-colored sword light flew over and floated above Lu Ming's head again, turning into a drop of blood. Clearly, the 5th-level spirit god cultivator was also killed by the blood-colored sword. The 5 Sky Martial Sword sect experts were all killed. Demonic chi spread out as Xiel Wan's figure appeared. He looked at Lu Ming in surprise and said, "Your battle strength is not bad. I didn't expect that a genius like you would be born after 30,000 years. If you were in the same era as me, you could be my opponent." Lu Ming's battle strength surprised Xiel Wan. Chapter 1155. Senior, you're flattering me. Lu Ming said. There's no need to be humble. These people will become my nourishment. They can at least help me recover some of my strength. Xiel Wan laughed and turned into a cloud of demonic chi, which wrapped around the bodies of the Jianghu sword sect's experts that Lu Ming had killed and absorbed them all. Xiel Wan had practiced some kind of cultivation technique that was extremely overbearing. It could directly absorb a cultivator's essence and turn it into his own essence. It was comparable to the devouring power of the 9 dragons. Of course, Xiel Wan's cultivation was unfathomable. He was considered an expert even among the emperors, so it was normal for him to have various means. Following this, Xiel Wan did the same thing and absorbed the remaining 4 cultivators. The demonic chi on Xiel Wan's body wriggled and his aura became stronger. 5th and 6th layer spirit gods are too weak. They can only recover a little, but it's better than nothing. Lu Ming, there's a 7th layer spirit god coming from the east. They're good nourishment. Xiel Wan laughed coldly. Although Xiel Wan's aura was weak and his strength was far from his peak, his spiritual sense was still terrifying. It was at the level of a martial emperor, so he could sense the situation from far away. Therefore, he could sense the enemy in advance. 7th layer spirit god? Then let's kill them. A sharp glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He guessed that the Imperial Xie clan must have promised a valuable reward. Otherwise, why would these people who were not from the Imperial Xie clan be so eager to kill him? However, if they wanted to kill him, they would have to be prepared to be killed instead. Lu Ming took a step forward and headed east. At this moment, in the east of Lu Ming, there were 2 burly men in their 50s or 60s who were flying toward Lu Ming. Both of them were wearing white robes and carrying battle swords on their backs. It was obvious that they were the experts of the Jianghu sword sect. One of them was holding a formation plate in his hand. There was a flickering light on the formation plate not far from them. We're almost there. Lu Ming is over there. He's not dead yet. Ha, looks like we're the first ones to find him. The two of them smiled at each other, their eyes burning with passion. Why is he coming toward us? Suddenly, one of them spoke. They realized that the light on the formation plate was rapidly approaching them. He's courting death. He doesn't know we're here. It seems like God's helping us. The other person laughed. Aware of Xielwan's matter was too serious. The royal Xie family did not divulge the news. Only a few people in the royal Xie family knew about it. The royal Xie family only told Lu Ming to the public. The two of them chatted as they flew. Not long after, a black-robed young man arrived in front of them. The gazes of the three men collided. However, to the surprise of the two Tianwu sword sect powerhouses, Lu Ming did not seem surprised to see them. Instead, there was a trace of murderous intent in his eyes. To be. He shook his head and threw the bad premonition out of his mind. Xielwan was only a junior at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. No matter how strong and heaven-defying he was, how could he surmount 4 levels of cultivation to fight them who were at the 7th level of the spirit god realm? They'd lived for a few thousand years, yet they'd never heard of a genius that could surmount 4 levels of cultivation to battle a 7th level spirit god at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. How could anyone that could attain the 7th level of the spirit god realm be weak? All of them were extremely formidable existences, and all of them were geniuses when they were young. They felt that they were overthinking things. Let's attack together and kill him. At that time, we'll split the rewards equally. One of them spoke. Even though they felt that it was impossible for Lu Ming to be a match for them, they decided to attack together and end the battle quickly so as to avoid any mishaps. All right. The other person nodded as well. Clang, clang, clang. Their swords droned while sword chi tore through the sky and stirred the wind and clouds. Both of them strode forward at the same time and charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming, I'll leave one to you and the other to me. Xielwan appeared and transformed into a strand of devilish chi that swept towards one of them. Kill! Without any superfluous words, Lu Ming charged towards one of them. His palm was like a heavenly blade as he executed the health suppression heaven art and pressed down. Clang! His palm collided heavily with the opponent's sword, and a terrifying rumble resounded. A ripple effused out at a terrifying speed from the place where the palm and sword collided. A few hundred kilometers away, a mountain that towered into the clouds was swept by the ripple, and it was directly severed at the waist. Shattered rocks shot through the sky while dust and dirt suffused the air. Bang, bang, bang. A figure took 3 steps back successively after the collision. It was an expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect. He took a step back, whereas Lu Ming's figure merely swayed slightly. How could this be possible? The expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect opened his eyes wide, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He was actually blasted back by a single palm strike from Lu Ming in a head-on collision. How could this be possible? He clearly noticed that Lu Ming was indeed at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. A 3rd level spirit god had actually blasted a 7th level spirit god like him back by 3 steps. This was too terrifying. This lad is too monstrous. Kill him, I must kill him. The expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect roared in his heart. He circulated his true origin to the extreme, and at the same time, he executed bloodline fusion to form a sword and unleashed his strongest combat strength. This lad had a 5th level divine bloodline. A dragon roar resounded, and the 9 dragons' bloodline appeared. Lu Ming also unleashed his 9 dragons' bloodline and executed bloodline fusion to transform into 9 dragons. The 9 dragons roared as they stepped into the air and pounced towards the opponent. Bang, bang. The dragon claws smashed through the air and clashed with the sword continuously. However, the sword was completely at a disadvantage and was no match for the 9 dragons. Back then, when Lu Ming had just entered the abysmal demon realm, he had to borrow the power of the 3rd bloodline in order to kill the strong cultivator of the Xie family, who was at the 7th level of the spirit god realm. But now, Lu Ming didn't need to overload the 3rd level spirit god's power to suppress the opponent. After more than 10 moves, the sword was completely suppressed. It was constantly being bombarded by the 9 dragons, and it was constantly trembling and trembling. Every move of the 9 dragons contained the suppressing hell-heaven art, and it was too powerful. Every move seemed to have a heavenly monolith pressing down on him. Ah! Suddenly, a scream came from not far away. It was the scream of another expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect. He was killed by Xiao Wan and was wrapped in a ball of demonic qi. This made the expert who was fighting with Lu Ming tremble in his heart, and fear filled his heart. His heart was in a mess, and his strength was even weaker. Lu Ming seized the opportunity to bombard the sword with several moves. With a bang, the sword exploded, and the expert revealed his true form. His face was pale, and he spat out blood. He quickly retreated, wanting to escape. The 9 dragons stepped into the air, and their speed was terrifying as they chased after the opponent and launched continuous attacks. Chapter 1156. Now, Lu Ming could kill a 7th-level spirit god expert by himself. Of course, there was a difference in the strength of the 7th level of the spirit god realm. This person was considered ordinary among the 7th level of the spirit god realm. If he had awakened a bloodline at the 6th level of the divine realm or even a 7th level of the divine realm, or if his mastery of a low-grade divine realm martial skill was higher, he wouldn't have been so easy to kill. As soon as this person was killed by Lu Ming, Xiao Wan's demonic qi flew over and enveloped this person. In just a few breaths of time, not even a speck of this person was left. Lu Ming secretly felt pity. If he had devoured a few 7th-level spirit gods, his cultivation would have improved rapidly. However, Xiao Wan's recovery was the key. If Xiao Wan's cultivation recovered completely, no, he didn't need to recover completely. As long as he recovered to the level of an ordinary Emperor Realm expert, their safety would be guaranteed. Lu Ming, another powerful expert, is here. This time, it's a perfected spirit god. We can't deal with him. Let's find a place to hide first. We'll come out after I've cultivated the Divine Gate 9 seals. Xiao Wan sensed for a moment and said, "All right." Lu Ming nodded and turned towards the south. He executed the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and turned into a stream of light and disappeared. Not long after Lu Ming left, an extremely powerful aura appeared at the place where the battle had taken place. This person sensed carefully and frowned as he muttered, "Junior brother Wan and the others' auras are here. But judging from the remnant auras, they should have fallen. Lu Ming actually has such a powerful method to kill a 7th-level spirit god?" This person muttered to himself and then looked towards the south. A fiery light flashed in his eyes as he chased towards the south. Lu Ming flew for more than 100,000 miles and saw a huge lake. He dashed into it and a long spear appeared in his hands. The long spear spun and pierced through the mud and rocks at the bottom of the lake, heading underground. At the same time, under the cover of Lu Ming's Earth concept, the speed at which Lu Ming penetrated the rocks underground was extremely fast. In a short while, he had penetrated 100 miles underground. At the same time, the rocks behind him merged together again as if no one had passed through. This Heavenly Secret Instruments projection is really amazing. It can still merge deep underground. Lu Ming frowned as he looked at the Heavenly Secret Instruments projection above his head and continued to rush underground. After a few breaths, he went down another 100 miles. Then, with a thought, Lu Ming appeared in the mountain and river diagram. Once he entered the diagram, Lu Ming, he looked up, he let out a long breath. The projection above his head, the Heavenly Secret Instruments projection, was finally isolated. The mountain and river diagram was indeed a legendary heavenly abode treasure. It seemed to be of a higher level than the Xie family's Heavenly Secret Instrument. It had successfully blocked the projection of the Heavenly Secret Instrument. Deep underground, the Heavenly Secret Art. The Heavenly Secret Instrument Spirit Xie Instrument, but the Light Heavenly Secret Instrument, the Spirit of the Heavenly Divine Soul Instrument Dao Ming Xie. Heavenly Spirit God Instrument Heavens' Instruments Heavenly Chi's Instrument. Heavens, why did the disk array lose its connection to the divine secret instrument? That shouldn't be the case. The celestial fate apparatus is the most mysterious treasure of the Xie clan. Even if it's hidden underground, it should still be able to sense it. Could it be that the Xie clan has suddenly stopped operating it? The man frowned, and all sorts of thoughts appeared in his mind as he looked around. In the mountain river diagram, Xian Yanqing sat cross-legged under the tree of enlightenment and cultivated quietly. Lu Ming came to Xian Yanqing's side. Enlightenment ancient tree? You even have an enlightenment ancient tree? Xie Luan's figure appeared. Looking at the tree of enlightenment with 3 leaves, he was shocked. The mountain and river diagram, the tree of enlightenment, both of them were legendary treasures, yet Lu Ming had both of them. Even the chaotic demon emperor was shocked. Although Xie Luan was incomparably powerful back then and his name shook the world, he did not possess such a treasure. They were all obtained in the Battle of Providence. Lu Ming casually found an excuse. What he said was half true. The mountain and river diagram was indeed obtained in the Battle of Providence, but the Tree of Enlightenment was not. It was spewed out from the Divine Gate. Kid, you're really lucky. Many people have participated in the Battle of Providence. I also participated in it back then, but I've never heard of anyone who could obtain such a treasure. Xie Luan said, his eyes still filled with surprise. Lu Ming smiled and did not explain further. All right, I'll start comprehending the Divine Gate's 9 seals now. With the help of your Tree of Enlightenment, I'll definitely be able to cultivate faster. With that, Xie Luan also sat cross-legged under the Tree of Enlightenment. Lu Ming also sat cross-legged at the side, quietly comprehending the concept. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. At this time, Xie Luan ended his cultivation. Lu Ming also sensed it and ended his cultivation. He said, Senior, are you done cultivating? Xie Luan nodded and said, the initial cultivation was successful, but it will still take some time to cultivate to greater mastery. The Divine Gate's 9 seals is indeed mysterious. Now go out, I'll help you seal it and try. Lu Ming nodded, and with a thought, he came out of the mountain and river diagram. As soon as he came out of the mountain and river diagram, the Divine Secret Instrument's projection condensed above his head again. Divine Gate's 9 seals, seal. Xie Luan's hands continuously formed seals. In the next moment, sealing doors appeared around Lu Ming. There were a total of 4 sealing doors in 4 directions, appearing in the 4 directions of the Divine Secret Instrument's projection. The light was resplendent, enveloping the Divine Secret Instrument's projection within. Seal. Xie Luan shouted again, and the power of the seal erupted. The 4 light doors pressed down and finally gathered together to form a light door. The Divine Secret Instrument's projection also disappeared without a trace. Hide. Xie Luan groaned once again. The remaining light door shuddered violently and disappeared too. Lu Ming exclaimed in his heart. As expected of Xie Luan, a top-tier martial dominator realm expert. His comprehension was too outstanding. Previously, Lu Ming had spent 3 days to barely succeed in forming a single sealing door. On the other hand, Xie Luan had only spent 3 days to form 4 sealing doors, and he was able to use them more skillfully than Lu Ming. The higher one's cultivation was, the deeper one's understanding of martial arts would be, allowing them to learn various secret techniques and martial skills at a faster pace. Lu Ming, given my current cultivation level, the gate of sealing that I cast can only seal you for 3 hours. After 3 hours, the heavenly secret instrument's projection will break through the seal. By then, you will have to seal it again. Xie Luan said. 3 hours, that's enough. Lu Ming let out a smile. His appearance began to change, and even his aura began to change too. Following this, he dashed toward the ground. Within a certain distance from Lu Ming, many experts were searching for Lu Ming. Previously, there was news that Lu Ming had appeared here. Naturally, it attracted many powerful figures. Apart from the experts of the Jianghu sword sect, there were also experts from the Royal Xie clan, and even experts from other factions such as the Cold Blood Hall and the Heavenly Eagle Fortress. Chapter 1157. What's going on? The celestial secret instrument is still working, but it can't sense Lu Ming's celestial secret instrument projection? What kind of treasure does this guy have to block the projection of the heavenly fate apparatus? Ordinary treasures with internal dimensions can't block the projection at all. Does Lu Ming have something more advanced than the celestial secret instrument? Some people guessed, and the greed in their eyes burned even hotter. If they killed Lu Ming, not only would they be rewarded with a priceless tribulation transcendence heavenly treasure from the royal family, but they would also be able to obtain the treasures on Lu Ming's body. This made everyone's hearts burn with excitement. There's a reaction. The formation plate is reacting. Suddenly, someone shouted. There's really a reaction. The projection of the celestial secret instrument has reappeared. Lu Ming has appeared. He's still in this area. He's tens of thousands of miles to the south. Let's go. Sensing the reaction of the formation plates in their hands, they rushed to the south. But after a few breaths, they all stopped. What's going on? The formation plates' reaction has disappeared again. What's going on? Damn it. At this moment, their formation plates had lost connection with the projection of the celestial secret instrument. Whatever, he's in the south anyway. Many powerhouses flew in the direction that they had sensed earlier. Very soon, many people appeared near the lake where Lu Ming had been sent underground. They began to search for him. So many people have come. The Imperial Xie family, the Sky Martial Sword sect, the Cold Blood Hall, the Ji family. In the crowd, a dark-skinned man looked around with a hint of coldness in his eyes. This man was Lu Ming in disguise. Earlier, he had disguised himself and rushed out of the ground. Soon after, he found a large number of experts coming. He took the opportunity to blend in with them and inquire about some information. Lu Ming had changed his aura with his illusion breath, so these people could not recognize him at all. Thus, Lu Ming successfully obtained a lot of important information. The Imperial Xie family is really generous. They even gave out a heavenly treasure. But then again, the chaotic Sky Emperor has reappeared. The Imperial Xie family is probably starting to panic. Lu Ming thought to himself, Senior, since there are so many tonics here, why don't we find a chance to kill some of them? Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Xiel Wan. That's exactly what I want. Let's leave this place and find someone who's alone. Xiel Wan laughed and his voice sounded in Lu Ming's ears. The experts here searched the surroundings. After failing to find Lu Ming, they dispersed in all directions. Lu Ming swept his gaze and followed behind a few powerful figures from the Jianghu sword sect. Among the 3 experts, 2 were LV7 Spirit God Realm and 1 were on the 6th level. After flying a distance away, the 3 of them stopped and turned to look at Lu Ming. Brother, why have you been following the 3 of us? What do you want? One of the experts at the 7th level of the Spirit God Realm asked with a slightly cold gaze. They had long sensed that Lu Ming was following them. However, the aura that Lu Ming revealed was only at the 3rd level of the Spirit God Realm. They did not care about it at all. However, after being followed for such a long distance, they revealed a murderous intent in their hearts. Haven't you been looking for me? Lu Ming smiled faintly and his voice became younger. The 3 of them were stunned for a moment before their eyes lit up. You're Lu Ming? One of them shouted coldly. Clang, clang, clang. 3 sword chimes sounded and 3 sword lights soared into the sky. Kill! Lu Ming did not bother to talk nonsense with them and charged over. At the same time, Xiel Wan appeared and pounced on them. Xiel Wan's strength had recovered a little after absorbing 2 LV7 Spirit God Realm experts. It was easier for him to deal with LV7 Spirit God Realm experts. 4 sealing gates appeared, locking down the 3 experts of the Celestial Martial Sword faction. Lu Ming killed one of them with a palm strike. The other 2 were killed by Xiel Wan before they were enveloped by demonic qi. 3 storage rings flew toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming grabbed them and put them away. After a few breaths, the 3 Sky Martial Sword sect experts disappeared without a trace. The demonic qi on Xiel Wan's body grew stronger and rolled continuously. Xiel Wan's muscles were wriggling and filled with demonic radiance. He was like a supreme demon god. exuding a terrifying aura. It feels good. My immortal demon body has recovered a little, but it's still far from it. Let's continue. Demonic light flashed in Xiao Wan's eyes as if an unparalleled demon god was about to awaken. All right. Lu Ming nodded without hesitation. Now that he and Xiao Wan were on the same boat, the stronger Xiao Wan was, the better it was for him. Thereafter, Lu Ming left the place and targeted 2 experts from Cold Blood Hall. They were also LV7 Spirit God Realm experts, but they were easily killed by Lu Ming. The hunt continued. Lu Ming disguised himself so that no one could see through him. Lu Ming specifically targeted those experts who were alone or in groups of 2 or 3. They were all easily killed by Xiao Wan and became his nourishment. Many experts had come to this territory. They came from various overlord forces and even some second-tier forces. Of course, not all forces came. For example, the Imperial Xie family's greatest enemy, the Heaven-Guarding Divine Army, did not send anyone. Also, the Floating Mountain Sect and the World Academy did not send anyone either. Apart from a few overlord forces who did not send anyone over, Lu Ming discovered people from 10 overlord forces. Lu Ming did not show any mercy. He took Xiao Wan and killed them one by one. Slowly, Xiao Wan's strength grew stronger. He could kill a LV7 Spirit God Realm expert in the beginning, then easily kill an LV8 Spirit God Realm expert, then LV9 Spirit God Realm expert. 3 hours later, the effect of the seal was over. Lu Ming found a secluded place and asked Xiao Wan to seal it again. Whoosh whoosh, Xiao Wan's demonic chi surged. After absorbing a LV9 Spirit God Realm expert, his demonic chi reached a terrifying level. His demonic body, in particular, was like a demonic weapon that emitted a terrifying aura. Immortal demon body. An Emperor Realm expert was completely different from a Spirit God Realm expert. An Emperor Realm expert's intent transformed into a domain, and their bloodline condensed into a spirit body. Both were terrifyingly powerful. A spirit body had already surpassed the mortal body and possessed the might to destroy the world. Even if an Emperor Realm expert did not rely on a domain, he could easily kill anyone below the Emperor Realm with just his spirit body. Xiao Wan's immortal demon body was a type of spirit body. It was a tyrannical and extremely powerful spirit body. Xiao Wan's spirit body had almost collapsed because he was suppressed by the hell-suppressing steel's fragment for 30,000 years. Now, he was slowly condensing it back. Lu Ming, how about we do something big? Xiao Wan's eyes were filled with dense demonic chi. Do something big? Lu Ming was very tempted. Previously, they had killed many experts. Although the flesh, true essence, and blood essence of those experts had all become Xiao Wan's nourishment and Lu Ming did not obtain a trace of it, Xiao Wan did not want those storage rings and gave them to Lu Ming. Lu Ming was rich now, so he was naturally tempted. Kill a group of people with a formation. Chapter 1158. Not only was Xiao Wan's martial arts cultivation extremely strong, but he was also invincible among the emperors of the Divine Wilderness continent. His path of inscription was not weak either. He had reached the peak of the 8th level, which was the perfect stage of the Spirit God realm. Now, he wanted to find a place to set up a peerless formation and kill a group of powerhouses at once, especially those at the perfect stage of the Spirit God realm. Of course, Lu Ming agreed to it wholeheartedly. The two of them chose a secluded canyon. This canyon had a wide and majestic view. Lu Ming came here, and Xiao Wan began to inscribe the formation. At first, it was an illusion formation that was used to hide their figures and other formations at the same time. After the illusion formation was the killing formation. Xiao Wan kept waving his hands, and lines of inscriptions entered the ground around the canyon. No, your formation isn't powerful enough. It's not that easy to kill a perfect stage Spirit God realm powerhouse. On his shoulder, Dandan stood with both legs and looked at Xiao Wan inscribing the formation as if he was giving advice. Xiao Wan was a little curious. He looked at Dandan, pondered for a moment, and said, "My formation should have no problem killing less than 3 perfect stage spirit gods." Bullshit. Dandan put his hands on his hips and scolded directly. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This guy was probably looking for a beating by scolding Xiao Wan like this. Xiao Wan raised his eyebrows, and a powerful aura spread out. However, in the next moment his aura was restrained. Dandan was also shocked at first. He grabbed Lu Ming with his claws. When Xiao Wan's aura was restrained, Dandan secretly let out a long breath. Let me tell you, although your formation can kill less than 3 perfect stage spirit gods, it will definitely take some time. If you don't succeed in a short time and attract supreme stage powerhouses, then we can only run. Dandan continued to put on a smug look. Xiao Wan frowned. Dandan was right. His formation could indeed kill less than 3 perfect stage spirit gods, but it would indeed take some time. Kid, you're still too inexperienced when it comes to spell formations in front of me. Let me teach you. Dandan rushed out arrogantly and began to wave above the formation that Xiao Wan had inscribed. Lines of inscriptions appeared, but they didn't merge with Xiao Wan's inscriptions. They just marked there. Inscribe your own inscriptions according to the inscriptions I inscribed. This way, the power of your formation will be doubled. Dandan mumbled to himself as he continued to carve. Xiao Wan read carefully, and when he reached the end, a look of surprise appeared on his face. He realized that the inscriptions that Dandan had pointed out and carved were very magical. If they were added to his formation, it would indeed increase the power of his formation by a large margin. It would be more than enough to double its power. Lu Ming, this little turtle of yours is no small matter. It has an unusual background. Xiao Wan looked at Lu Ming, and the surprise in his eyes was even stronger. After a short period of time together, he realized that he couldn't see through Lu Ming anymore. He had a big secret. Although his cultivation was still weak, his future was boundless and unpredictable. What little turtle? Kid, its background is very unusual. You're right. I'm one of the top 10 battle beasts. Dandan's ears were very sharp. It heard him from afar and became even more complacent. It spoke to Xiao Wan in a tone of lecturing a junior. What? Top 10 battle beasts? You're one of the top 10 battle beasts? Xiao Wan's pupils suddenly widened, revealing an extremely shocked expression. Senior, don't listen to his nonsense. This guy just likes to brag. Lu Ming hurriedly said, and then pretended not to care and asked, Senior, you know the top 10 battle beasts? What are the top 10 battle beasts? I'm not very sure. It's just that when I left the divine wilderness continent and went overseas, I heard about it once. It said that the top 10 battle beasts are the 10 most powerful creatures in this world. Each of them has the power to destroy heaven and earth. Emperors are like ants in front of them. They can even easily kill saints. They're extremely terrifying. There are even legends that some of the top 10 battle beasts don't come from our world, but from another world. It said that your 9 dragons bloodline is one of the top 10 battle beasts, the 9 dragons. They can easily kill saints? Lu Ming was secretly shocked. There were also some that came from another world. Lu Ming thought of the heaven realm. Because Dandan was spat out from the divine gate, Lu Ming speculated that the other side of the divine gate was the heaven realm. Alright, I've added the inscriptions that need to be added. Kid, inscribe according to the trajectory that I've carved. The power of the formation will definitely increase by a lot. Dandan flew back and landed on Lu Ming's body again. Xiao Wan sized up Dandan seriously. Without saying anything, he flew out and began inscribing according to the trajectory that Dandan had carved. Dandan, don't mention that you're one of the top 10 battle beasts in front of others in the future. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Dandan, reminding Dandan. In the divine wilderness continent, it seemed that no one knew much about the top 10 battle beasts. Even the chaotic sky divine Emperor Xiao Wan had only heard of them overseas. Fortunately, Dandan was hooting all day long, so no one cared too much. If Lu Ming's cultivation was strong in the future and he broke through to the martial emperor realm and went overseas, Dandan's hooting would probably be targeted by others. According to Xiao Wan, the top 10 battle beasts were existences that could easily kill saints. They were supreme treasures in themselves. If others knew about it, how could they not be tempted and coveted? Alright, I'll speak less. Dandan was very smart. It had obviously thought of this point and it muttered. Xielwan spent a whole day inscribing the formation. During this time, Dandan would point out any inadequacies. Xielwan did as he was told. After a day, the formation was completed. Then it was time to attract people. However, first they had to check if there were any martial saints. If they attracted martial saints, they would be in danger, let alone kill others. Lu Ming disguised himself and wandered around the area. He checked and asked if there were any martial saints. After confirming that there were no martial saints, Lu Ming returned to the place where he had set up the formation and waited quietly. Soon, the energy of the sealed door was exhausted and the projection of the divine secret instrument appeared again. At this moment, everyone who had a formation plate within 1,000,000 miles reacted at the same time. Light spots appeared on the formation plates again. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming has appeared. Damn it, he has been appearing and disappearing from time to time. Now he's doing this again. Is he playing with us? If I catch him, I'll skin him alive. Those powerhouses really couldn't hold back their anger, cursing and swearing. However, they still rushed toward the direction shown by the formation plates. Hey, this time, Lu Ming did not disappear. The formation plates are still showing. If that's the case, he would have disappeared in a short while before, but he hasn't disappeared yet. I guess Lu Ming used some method to conceal the aura of the divine secret instrument's projection. He can't hide it anymore. Chapter 1159. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the air above the canyon. Above his head, the divine secret instrument's projection rotated slowly, emitting a mysterious wave. Xielwan floated beside Lu Ming. It's about time. All of a sudden, Xielwan shouted. He constantly condensed seals with both hands and 4 doors of seals appeared, sealing the projection of the heavenly secret instrument. He then dashed into the canyon and dug a huge hole with his spear. Lu Ming dashed tens of miles underground and spread his spiritual senses. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Figures appeared one after another and floated around the canyon, emitting powerful auras. The weakest was a LV6 spirit god, while the strongest had earth-shattering auras. They were all perfected spirit god experts. They were all dressed differently. Some wore white swordsman robes and were mostly experts from the Sky Martial Sword sect. Some wore red robes and were experts from the Cold Blood Hall. Lu Ming scanned with his spiritual senses and found that most of the experts were from the Sky Martial Sword sect, the Cold Blood Hall, and the Imperial Xie family. What's going on? Why did the divine secret instrument's projection disappear again? Is the divine secret instrument's projection useful or not? Damn it, the formation disk showed that it was nearby. Why did it suddenly disappear again? Lu Ming must be in the vicinity. He must be hiding somewhere. Let's surround this area. Let's see how long he can hide. The experts spoke one after another. Their figures flickered as they surrounded the area. There are so many experts. How much wealth do they have in their storage rings? Lu Ming's eyes shone with a blazing light. Xielwan also spread out his spiritual senses and sensed carefully. 4 perfected spirit gods, 9 LV9 spirit gods, and no supremes. That's enough. With these supplements, I'm confident that I can fight against the supremes. Xielwan whispered and revealed a cold look. Lu Ming, I'm going to release a bit of the seal now. Xielwan said. Lu Ming nodded. Then, Xielwan formed a seal and released a bit of the door of seals. Buzz. Immediately, the heavenly secrets instrument's projection began to ripple. At this moment, near the Great Canyon, the formation discs in the hands of the experts moved, all of them pointing in the same direction, towards the Great Canyon. He appeared. Lu Ming has appeared. He's in that canyon. He should be hiding underground in the canyon, using a secret technique to hide the fluctuations of the divination apparatus's projection. Now, he can't hide it any longer and is about to reveal himself. Lu Ming is mine. It's mine. One by one, the experts roared and unleashed their powerful auras. Their eyes were red as they charged towards the canyon. If he killed Lu Ming, he would be able to obtain a tribulation transcending heavenly treasure. This temptation was too great. At least a few dozen experts at the 6th level of the spirit god realm and above charged into the canyon. At the same time, a series of attacks exploded towards the ground, wanting to force Lu Ming out of the ground. All of you die. Xiao Wan's eyes were cold as he waved his hands. In the canyon, countless inscriptions flickered and a peerless killing formation appeared. Soaring murderous intent filled the air. Terrifying sword chi appeared, destroying the attacks of these experts. The terrifying aura of the grand formation caused everyone to feel a chill in their hearts. Even their souls were trembling. Oh no, it's a peerless killing formation. We've been tricked. Retreat, retreat, retreat. These experts had gone mad and were fleeing madly towards the outside. However, it was too late. The terrifying sword chi was moving at a speed that was beyond what the naked eye could see. Shrill cries resounded out densely as those experts at the 9th level of the spirit god realm and below were instantly annihilated, causing their blood and chi to shoot into the sky. Even if it was 9 9th level spirit god realm experts, they were unable to resist for a few breaths of time before being annihilated one by one. In the end, only 4 experts of the perfect spirit god realm were left. Let's join forces and charge out. We've been tricked. Lu Ming has the help of experts. We've been tricked. We've been tricked by the imperial family. The 4 experts of the perfect spirit god realm wanted to join forces and charge out. However, this formation had been improved by Dandan and was extremely powerful. The 4 experts of the perfect spirit god realm tried their best to charge out, but they realized in despair that they couldn't charge out at all. The 4 of them didn't persist for long before their defenses were broken by the peerlessly sharp sword chi. Thousands of swords pierced their hearts and they died on the spot. Dozens of experts above the 6th level of the spirit god realm were annihilated. It was a great loss for a power with a perfect spirit god realm expert dying. A perfect spirit god realm expert was an existence second only to an exalted being. No power would have too many of them, so the death of one was a great loss. Bang! Lu Ming charged towards the ground and reached the ground in an instant. As soon as he reached the ground, Xiao Wan turned into a ball of demonic chi and enveloped the expert's corpse. "Senior, leave a few for me," Lu Ming shouted. He was envious when he saw so many spirit god realm experts, especially those who cultivated the earth concept. Lu Ming dashed toward the few experts who had cultivated the earth concept. Xiao Wan intended to let Lu Ming obtain some benefits. He didn't touch the few people that Lu Ming took a fancy to. The others were all enveloped by demonic chi and became Xiao Wan's nourishment. Lu Ming controlled the 9 dragons bloodline and charged towards an expert at the 8th level of the spirit god realm. He opened his mouth and sucked. Devouring power erupted and devoured the expert's true essence, blood essence, and concept runes. After that, Lu Ming charged towards another expert and continued to devour. Lu Ming had devoured 3 experts from the 8th level of the spirit god realm. They were all experts who cultivated the earth concept. After devouring 3 experts, the 9 dragons' bloodline swelled and was filled with boundless and terrifying energy. Xiao Wan didn't take the storage rings of those experts. They all flew towards Lu Ming and were put away by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart burned with passion. So many experts, how much wealth do they have? Lu Ming, let's go. Let's leave this place first. Demonic chi surged around Xiao Wan as he wrapped Lu Ming and flew towards the distance. He believed that the commotion here would soon be known by others, and would definitely attract powerful experts. Xiao Wan took Lu Ming and flew 1,000 miles in an instant. Soon they flew several million miles. Lu Ming charged into the belly of a huge mountain and entered the mountain river diagram. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and started to refine the energy he had just devoured. The energy of 3 8th level spirit god realm experts was too vast and boundless. It was constantly converted into true essence. Lu Ming's cultivation started to rise rapidly. Mid-3rd level spirit god realm, late 3rd level spirit god realm, concept runes were also constantly refined. Before long, Lu Ming's earth concept smoothly broke through the bottleneck and charged into the fourth level of the initial stage. It was even slowly rising. Moreover, some of them had comprehended the concept of fire. This allowed Lu Ming's concept of fire to rise a little. As for the blood essence of the three experts, Lu Ming used it all to upgrade the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. Before long, the eighth golden chakra appeared on the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. At first, it was still a little dim, but it slowly became resplendent. After a few hours, Lu Ming finally finished refining the blood essence of the three eighth-level spirit god realm experts. A powerful aura rippled out from Lu Ming's body. It was several times stronger than before. Chapter 1160. With the breakthrough of the Earth concept, Lu Ming's 5 concepts had reached the 4th level. Therefore, he relied on the huge amount of energy he devoured to break through and enter the 4th level of the spirit god realm. Lu Ming's strength had increased by a large margin. Lu Ming put away the 9 dragons bloodline and opened his eyes. He saw Xiao Wan not far away, looking at him in surprise. The 9 dragons bloodline is indeed magical and heaven-defying. Xiao Wan sighed. The reason why he could constantly improve his strength with the nourishment of experts was that he had already reached his original realm. However, he had been suppressed for many years and was relatively weak. He needed the blood essence of experts to recover. He was only recovering, but Lu Ming was improving and breaking through. There was no comparison at all. "Senior, how much strength have you recovered?" Lu Ming changed the topic and asked. "With my current strength, it shouldn't be a problem for me to fight against a supreme being." Xiao Wan said. "You can fight against a supreme being?" Lu Ming revealed a look of joy. The stronger Xiao Wan was now, the better it would be for him. "Senior, do you still want to do something big?" Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he was a little restless. Didn't the experts of the Overlord forces want to kill him? Then he would kill them back. The key was that Xiao Wan didn't seem to care about their storage rings, but Lu Ming needed them. Although Lu Ming hadn't checked the contents of those storage rings, they were all experts at the 6th level of the spirit god realm and above. The value of the items inside would definitely be shocking. Lu Ming's heart was burning. Your thoughts coincide with mine. I happen to want to do something big too." Xiao Wan laughed loudly, arrogant and overbearing. "Senior, I'm afraid it will be difficult to kill the enemy with the formation a second time. The others will definitely be on guard after seeing the traces of the previous battle. It will be difficult to do it again." Lu Ming frowned and thought about how to do something big. "It's fine. Let's change the method. Isn't there a Sky Martial Sword Sex branch nearby? Let's destroy this branch directly. Moreover, I can sense something I need in this branch." Xiao Wan spoke with a trace of hope in his eyes. "Attacking the Sky Martial Sword Factions division? Senior, I'm afraid there's a supreme being in charge of this division," Lu Ming said with a serious expression. Although Xiao Wan had the strength to fight against a martial saint, the martial saint of the Sky Martial Sword sect was in charge of the sect and had the geographical advantage. It was not easy to kill him. If things went wrong, he might even lose his life. "If my strength is a little stronger, then I'm confident. There's something very important to me in that division. If I can get it, my strength will definitely recover quickly. At that time, I won't have to hide anymore." Xiao Wan frowned. Lu Ming pondered for a moment. Suddenly, his palm glowed and a small pagoda appeared in his hand. Sovereign Spirit Weapon. When he saw this small pagoda, Xiao Wan's eyes were filled with brilliant light. "Senior, if I lend you this Sovereign Spirit Weapon for the time being, are you confident?" Lu Ming asked. "Although this Emperor tier spirit weapon doesn't match my attribute and I can't fully display its power, it's still an Emperor tier spirit weapon after all. It's enough to increase my strength by a large amount. It's enough to attack that branch," Xiao Wan said. "All right, I'll lend it to you." Lu Ming waved his hand and the small pagoda flew to Xiao Wan. If he didn't make a decision, he would suffer instead. Now that Xiao Wan was temporarily attached to him, he wouldn't be able to hide many of his secrets from Xiao Wan. Therefore, he might as well reveal them openly and use Ciel Wan's strength to gain benefits for himself. Great. Then let's turn the world upside down. Ciel Wan laughed and refined the small pagoda. He then left the mountain river diagram with Lu Ming and flew towards the north. Hundreds of thousands of miles away in the north, there was a Sky Martial Sword Factions division in a desolate mountain. Ciel Wan sensed it when Lu Ming and the others passed by earlier. Soon, a sword peak appeared in front of them. The peak was like a sword that could reach the sky. Even from afar, they could feel a powerful sword aura emanating from it. There seemed to be a demonic light shining in Ciel Wan's eyes as if he could see through everything. The Sky Martial Sword Factions division isn't simple. They seem to be secretly researching something related to demons. Ciel Wan muttered. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The Sky Martial Sword Faction was actually researching something related to demons. Therefore, Ciel Wan chose this place. Ciel Wan took Lu Ming and took a step forward, appearing above the Tong Tian Sword Peak. Who is it? This place is assigned by the Celestial Martial Sword Faction. All of you scram. As soon as they appeared, the experts on the Heavenspan sword sensed their presence, and they let out a shout filled with killing intent. I'm the one who will kill you, Ciel Wan said coldly. A small red pagoda appeared in his hand and expanded rapidly. In the end, it turned into a giant pagoda that was comparable to the sword peak. There was a blazing aura emanating from it and a layer of light shrouded it. It was red in color and emitted a shocking temperature. Is this a domain? Lu Ming's eyes were filled with shock. An emperor's intent evolved into a domain. An emperor's spiritual weapon also contained a domain. It was extremely terrifying. Flame domain. Not good. It's an emperor. An emperor is attacking. Activate the formation. Activate the formation. The moment the emperor's spiritual weapon appeared, chaos broke out on the sword peak. Terrified screams could be heard. Suppress. Ciel Wan waved his hand and rich true yuan poured into the small red pagoda. The small red pagoda then suppressed the sword peak. At that moment, countless inscriptions appeared around the sword peak and formed a large formation. A towering sword chi rushed towards the small red pagoda. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion as the sword chi was destroyed. The giant pagoda suppressed everything and smashed onto the protective formation of the Sky Martial Sword Peak. The protective mountain formation shook violently, almost collapsing. Suppress. Ciel Wan shouted and continued to control the giant pagoda to suppress it. This time, there was an earth-shattering explosion as the protective formation of the Sky Martial Sword Peak was breached. The protective formation shattered and the giant pagoda slammed onto the mountain peak. The entire sword peak shook violently before it exploded. At this moment, the sword peak was filled with tragic cries. Countless disciples of the Celestial Martial Sword sect were screaming as they were turned into ashes under the horrifying power. Even some high-level spiritual god realm experts vomited mouthfuls of blood and were on the verge of death. For you, my Sky Martial Sword sect will kill you. A furious roar sounded as a dazzling sword light shot up from the bottom of the sword peak. It was as if it wanted to split heaven and earth in half. Supreme Being, this was a Supreme Being. The person who will kill you. Demonic chi surged around Ciel Wan's body. He was like a peerless demon god controlling an emperor's spiritual weapon to suppress the other party. At the same time, Ciel Wan took a big step forward. His muscles bulged and a demonic light appeared. It seemed to contain boundless power. Boom! Chapter 1161. The Sky Martial Sword Sect's paragon let out a long roar. His sword might was vast and mighty, shattering the heavens. He slashed out a shocking sword light, slashing onto the huge pagoda, blocking it. However, on the other side, Ciel Wan's demonic fist arrived once again. Boundless sword chi floated around the Sky Martial Sword Sect's Supreme Being. In the end, they converged into a sword. Like a myriad of swords returning to the sect, it pierced towards Ciel Wan. Boom! Ciel Wan's demonic fist slammed into the sword energy, causing the sword energy to tremble violently before finally collapsing. Although the heavenly martial sword sex Jizun was strong, he had to fend off the sovereign spirit weapon and Ciel Wan. He was already at a disadvantage. Spirit body, you have a spirit body. Are you a ruler? When the opponent saw that Ciel Wan had defeated his sword energy with a single punch, he immediately cried out in fear. Kill! Ciel Wan shouted and strode forward. His demonic fists crushed everything as he punched out. Above, the giant pagoda shook and continued to press down on the other party. The supreme being of the celestial martial sword sect had a look of fear in his eyes as he activated bloodline fusion immediately, transforming into a battle sword. His bloodline was at level 6 of the deity level, comparable to the clan heads of the 6 great ancient aristocratic families of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Performing the bloodline fusion had increased his battle prowess by a level, but Ciel Wan was brave and invincible. His undying demon body was frightening and shocking. If he was at his peak, he could crush an emperor. Boom, boom. At the same time, the giant pagoda pressed down as well. Within the giant pagoda, the flame domain enveloped the celestial martial sword sect's supreme being, causing him to be suppressed by the terrifying heat. Even though the supreme martial artist of the celestial martial sword sect gave it his all and slashed out waves after waves of shocking sword chi, it was still useless. He was suppressed and gradually lost the ability to fight back. Go quickly and inform the sect master. The sky martial sword sect's supreme being roared. Some high-level domain enlightened spirit gods that hadn't died looked at the battle in the sky with terror. The sky martial sword sect's exalt had actually fallen into a completely disadvantaged position, and he might be defeated at any moment. Go! Someone flew into the distance, wanting to escape and inform the sovereign of the sky martial sword sect. None of you shall leave. Ciel Wan's devilish chi shot into the sky as his fist blasted out, and it pierced through 5,000 kilometers of space. A few domain-enlightened spirit gods were instantly enveloped by the glow of his fist, and they were mercilessly annihilated. Clang! Clang! Then, Ciel Wan's demonic fists continued to bombard the body of the opponent's sword, causing the sky martial sword sect's supreme being to vibrate continuously. Originally, with Ciel Wan's current combat strength, he wasn't inferior to his opponent. Coupled with the assistance of a ruler spirit armament, Ciel Wan's strength far surpassed his opponent's. After more than 10 punches, the sword shattered, revealing the other party's body, which was retreating in horror. Boom! The giant pagoda pressed down, and the other party tried his best to resist, but he was still hit by the giant pagoda and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Ciel Wan charged over and punched him in the chest. He screamed in pain as his chest was pierced through. A huge hole appeared and his heart was shattered. His opponent's dantian lit up and his spiritual divinity rushed out, wanting to escape. However, Ciel Wan reached out and grabbed his opponent's spiritual divinity. With a fierce squeeze, the opponent's spiritual divinity was crushed, turning into energy that was absorbed by Ciel Wan. The Supreme was killed by Ciel Wan just like that. Boom! The gigantic pagoda shone brightly as it enveloped the entire Sky Martial Sword sect. The remaining members of the Sky Martial Sword sect were all killed without exception. Ciel Wan turned into demonic chi and enveloped all the experts of the Sky Martial Sword sect, turning them into his nourishment. Leave some for me. Lu Ming flew rapidly, collecting the storage rings one by one. Unfortunately, those experts had all become Ciel Wan's nourishment, leaving nothing for him. Lu Ming lamented. However, he had just devoured 3 8th-level spirit god experts, and there were impurities in them. He needed some time to refine them and stabilize his foundation. If he continued to devour, his foundation might become even more unstable. Thinking of this, Lu Ming felt relieved and continued to collect the storage rings. Soon, all the storage rings were collected by Lu Ming. However, Ciel Wan did not give the Supreme's storage ring to Lu Ming. He kept it for himself. The Supreme's wealth must have tempted him. Boom! Ciel Wan absorbed all the tonics and turned into his human form. He punched the ground, penetrating it. Below the ground, a shocking demonic chi shot up into the sky. It was vast and mighty, and there was a terrifying pressure spreading out. This Why do I feel like I'm facing the Demon Emperor? Lu Ming was shocked. Could there be a Demon Emperor hiding under the ground? How could that be possible? As expected, the Sky Martial Sword sect is so ambitious. They are actually refining a demon fetus in secret. Xie Luan muttered to himself with an ecstatic smile on his face. Senior, what's a demon fetus? Lu Ming came to Xie Luan's side and looked down. Demonic qi permeated the ground and a tall figure could be vaguely seen in the demonic qi. The demonic qi was coming from that figure. The Sky Martial Sword sect must have obtained the corpse of a fallen demon emperor and refined it with a special method. In the end, they managed to refine it into a powerful existence that will obey the orders of the Sky Martial Sword sect. That existence is the demon fetus. Once it's refined, it will possess strength comparable to an emperor. It seems like the Sky Martial Sword sect is far from complete. Now it's all mine. Once I refine this demon fetus, my strength will be barely restored to the monarch realm. Xie Luan laughed and turned into a ball of demonic qi. He flew down and wrapped around the tall figure before starting to refine it. Lu Ming could only wait by the side. Soon, half an hour passed. Rip. High up in the sky, the space was suddenly torn apart. A middle-aged man in a white robe with a sword on his back stepped out of the tear in space. As soon as the middle-aged man stepped out of the tear in space, he looked around. Suddenly, a sword aura that seemed to be able to destroy the world erupted and enveloped the area within a radius of 10,000 miles. An emperor! It's an emperor! Lu Ming's pupils contracted in shock. He knew that the Sky Martial Sword sect's emperor had arrived. He was a sword emperor who could slay the world with his sword. The Sky Martial Sword sect's emperor's gaze fell on Lu Ming. However, it was just a glance before it landed on the ball of demonic qi on the ground. I don't care who you are. Since you dared to destroy a branch of my Sky Martial Sword sect, you can forget about leaving today. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, the Sky Martial Sword sect's emperor slashed out with his palm. A dazzling sword aura slashed toward Xie Luan. The might of the sword aura was several times stronger than that of the previous supreme being. How dare a junior act so presumptuously in front of me? A loud laugh came from within the demonic qi. A black fist radiance flew out and clashed with the sword aura. When the fist radiance and the sword aura clashed, it stirred up a boundless energy storm. All the mountains and mountains within a radius of 10,000 miles were swept by the energy storm. They crumbled and exploded into pieces. A single move had destroyed the mountains and rivers within a radius of 10,000 miles. The battle between emperors was too terrifying. It could even destroy the world. Lu Ming was under the protection of Xie Luan's demonic qi. However, he was still shocked when he felt the might of the battle. The might of an emperor is indeed shocking. It's not something that I can match up to now. Lu Ming thought to himself. Whoosh! Chapter 1162. Obviously, Xie Luan had recovered a lot and his strength was unfathomable. Clang! A sword chime was heard as the Sky Martial Sword sect's sovereign unsheathed his sword. The sword chime made Lu Ming's body tremble. He felt his eardrums ringing and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Shameless boasting. The Sky Martial Sword sect's sovereign was overbearing. He took a step forward and it was as though he had turned into a sword. Boundless sword qi flowed around his body. You're just an ordinary sword body. I've killed more than one in the past. Xie Luan's voice was heard. The huge pagoda shook and flew out towards the sovereign. The sovereign swung his sword and the entire area was split open. A terrifying sword light slashed on the huge pagoda. Its power exploded and broke the flame territory of the huge pagoda, blocking the pagoda. At the same time, a few terrifying sword qi flew towards Xie Luan. Sword territory. Xie Luan snorted and retracted his demonic qi. Xie Luan's true body was revealed. His body was shining with demonic light as though it contained boundless power. Boom! Boom! He threw out a few punches and clashed with the sovereign's sword qi. A loud explosion was heard and the ground was shaved 100 miles deep by the shockwaves. Bam! The sword chi was defeated, but Ciel Wan's body also took a step back, causing the space to explode, revealing a pitch-black space. Ciel Wan seemed to be at a disadvantage. However, the sovereign did not continue to attack. Instead, he opened his eyes wide and stared at Ciel Wan. Ciel Wan? The Sky Martial Sword Sect's sovereign spat out a sentence with great difficulty. His voice was filled with disbelief. Back then, Ciel Wan rebelled against the royal family and started a great war with the royal family. Many forces had participated in that war and had witnessed Ciel Wan's unparalleled demonic chi. There were portraits of Ciel Wan in many overlord forces. Many of those portraits were drawn by the sovereigns. They could even feel Ciel Wan's demonic chi and aura in the portraits. There was such a portrait in the Sky Martial Sword Sect. The sovereign of the Sky Martial Sword Sect had experienced it personally, and it was exactly the same as Ciel Wan. Therefore, he was immediately stunned, shocked, and in disbelief. Why would the supreme demonic emperor from 30,000 years ago appear now? Go! Seizing this opportunity, Ciel Wan didn't continue fighting, and he tore open space and led Lu Ming into the spatial rift before vanishing. The Sky Martial Sword Sect's sovereign was the only one left at the scene. Ciel Wan, it's definitely Ciel Wan. Ciel Wan has come out. This world is going to be chaotic again. The sovereign of the Sky Martial Sword Sect muttered to himself. After a while, his eyes shone brightly as he muttered to himself, "That's good too. This is an opportunity. Perhaps it's an opportunity for my Sky Martial Sword Sect. But it's a pity that the devil fetus will be lost." The Sky Martial Sword Sect's martial emperor sighed. Then he suddenly looked in a direction. Two resplendent sword lights shot out from his eyes as he shouted, "Who is it?" "Ha, Sword Emperor Wuju, how have you been?" A loud laugh rang out, and a bolt of lightning flashed in the sky. A middle-aged man wearing a cyan thunder battle robe appeared in the sky. "Lightning Saber Emperor, why are you here?" Wuju's Sword Emperor frowned. The Lightning Saber Emperor was the sect master of the Sky Thunder Saber sect, an overlord force. The Imperial Xie clan has announced to the world that they have activated the Tianji instrument to capture Lu Ming. However, I feel that it's not that simple. I just came out of seclusion, so I came out for a walk. I sensed a strong energy fluctuation here, so I came to take a look. The Lightning Saber Emperor explained. He then looked around and said, "Wuju, this should be one of the branches of your Sky Martial Sword Sect, right? It seems like it has been destroyed. You were the one who fought with the other party, right? Where is he? Even you can't keep him here?" "He's gone," Wuju's Sword Emperor said. "Who is it?" The remaining demonic chi here is extremely shocking. Could it be the Demon Emperor from the Demon Mountain? The Lightning Saber Emperor's eyes flickered as he probed. Wuju's Martial Emperor pondered for a while, as if he was thinking. After a while, he said, "It's not the Demon Emperor from the Demon Mountain. You won't be able to guess who it is." "Who is it?" Seeing Wuju's Martial Emperor's solemn expression, the Lightning Saber Emperor asked curiously. "Ciel Wan, the Demon Emperor, Ciel Wan." Martial Monarch Wuju said word by word. Every word was spoken extremely clearly. What? Even with the Lightning Saber Emperor's determination, he was dumbfounded at that moment. "Wuju, are you hallucinating? Or are you joking with me? Ciel Wan, 30,000 years old, how could he still be alive?" The Lightning Saber Emperor said in disbelief. "Do I look like I'm joking?" Wuju's Martial Emperor said with a cold expression. The Lightning Saber Emperor fell silent. His eyes flickered as if he was thinking about something. After a while, he said, "If it's really Ciel Wan, I'm afraid the royal family will be in chaos. I know why the royal family activated the heavenly fortune apparatus. Their target is not Lu Ming, but Ciel Wan. That's most likely the case. Besides, Ciel Wan has yet to recover to his peak. He is still no match for me," Wuju's Martial Emperor said. "If that's the case, do you have any way to track Ciel Wan's aura? Let's follow him and see what he's up to next," the Lightning Saber Emperor said. "Ciel Wan used my Tianwu Sword faction's disciples as supplements to recover his demonic body. He has yet to completely eliminate the aura of my disciples. I can use a secret technique to track him down. Alright, let's go and see what he's up to. Wuxia Martial Emperor said and began to use a secret technique to track Xiao Wan's aura. Xiao Wan brought Lu Ming and crossed several spaces before coming to a stop. I still haven't recovered to the Emperor realm. I'm still a little weaker than that kid. Xiao Wan said. That kid was referring to Wuxia Martial Emperor. Senior, you're still no match for an Emperor realm expert? Lu Ming asked. I can barely fight. An ordinary Emperor realm expert can't do anything to me. With your Emperor realm spiritual weapon, I can fight against an ordinary Emperor realm expert. However, it won't be good for me if I fight for a long time. Now that my identity has been exposed, I'm afraid all the emperors in the world will try to find us. Xiao Wan said. Although he said so, there was still a cold smile on his face. Senior, do you have any good ideas? Seeing Xiao Wan's expression, Lu Ming knew that Xiao Wan already had an idea. Isn't the royal family going all out to hunt us down? Then I'll make the royal family lose interest in hunting us down. I'll even make the divine wilderness continent fall into chaos and attack each other. This way, I'll have time to recover. Xiao Wan said. Make the divine wilderness continent fall into chaos? Attack each other? Lu Ming was shocked, but he was also puzzled. What method did Xiao Wan have to make the world fall into chaos and attack each other? I have a Heavenly King token with me. Back then, it belonged to the royal family. As long as I take out this Heavenly King token, it will be enough to make those emperors go crazy. Lu Ming, let's go to the sacred city. Chapter 1163. In a secret hall in the holy city, a round sphere floated in the air, emitting a resplendent light. Inscriptions appeared on the surface of this sphere, shining brightly. If Lu Ming were here, he would recognize that this sphere was identical to the projection of the Heavenly Secrets apparatus floating above his head. This was the Heavenly Secrets apparatus's main body. Above the Heavenly Secrets apparatus, there was an enormous disk array that emitted a mysterious light. Around the Heavenly Secrets apparatus, more than a dozen people stood quietly, observing. Suddenly, the Heavenly Secrets apparatus shone brightly, and a dot of light appeared on the disk array above the Heavenly Secrets apparatus. The dozen or so people present were alarmed. The Heavenly Secrets apparatus has sensed something, and a dot of light has appeared on the disk array. Lu Ming has appeared, and he's within 1 million li. An old man exclaimed in disbelief. Shouldn't Lu Ming be hiding somewhere far away? How did he dare to appear within 1 million li of the holy city? Look, he's rapidly approaching the holy city. He's approaching the holy city. The others exclaimed, their voices filled with disbelief. The disk array showed that the dot of light was rapidly approaching the holy city. This meant that Lu Ming was on his way to the holy city. Quick, spread the news. The old man in the lead ordered. Then, they took out sound transmission jade talismans and sent out the news. In fact, there was no need for them to send out the news. There were people in the holy city who could sense the Heavenly Secrets force field disk array, and they had also discovered this point. Lu Ming was rapidly approaching the holy city. Many experts in the holy city were alarmed. Even more experts from the imperial Xie family were alarmed, and they flew out from various places towards the holy city's eastern wall. Because according to the disk array, Lu Ming was coming from the east, and he would soon be near the eastern wall. For a time, the holy city's eastern wall was filled with wind and clouds. Many experts had arrived, and the walls were filled with people. He's here, he's almost there. Some people looked at the disk array and found that the dot of light was getting closer and closer to the holy city. Soon, a black-robed youth with long hair casually draped over his shoulders stepped through the air. Lu Ming, it was Lu Ming. At this moment, above Lu Ming's head, the divine secret instrument's projection was suspended in the air. Previously, Xiao Wan had brought Lu Ming towards the holy city by tearing through space. When they were within 1,000,000 miles of the holy city, Xiao Wan released the seal on the sealing gate and released the projection of the Tianji instrument. Then, it sank into Lu Ming's spine and disappeared. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was flying towards the holy city. At this moment, everyone's attention was on Lu Ming. I didn't expect that Lu Ming would actually come to the sacred city. Isn't this like a lamb walking into a tiger's den? Could it be that he knows he can't escape, so he's here to surrender? It's possible. Speaking of which, it's strange. I remember that during the million-year sacrifice ceremony, Lu Ming took the initiative to enter the 9 underworlds to take Princess 16 away. I'm very curious. How did he come out? Moreover, he was hunted down by the imperial family. They even took out the divine secret instrument and gave him a heavenly treasure to pass the tribulation. Everyone is very curious about this, let alone you. However, many higher-ups in the royal family don't know the exact reason, let alone us. However, there is one thing that we can be sure of. Lu Ming definitely did something very impressive to cause the Xie family of the royal family to behave this way. Some experts from other forces were secretly discussing, but for a moment, no one made a move. Lu Ming stood in the air 100 miles away from the city wall. Lu Ming, how dare you break out of the 9 underworlds without permission? You've committed a heinous crime and should be executed by 1,000 cuts. A gloomy voice sounded. Everyone looked towards the source of the voice. The speaker was Xiezhen. Lu Ming glanced at Xiezhen casually and sneered. What a joke. I entered the 9 underworlds of my own free will. I can stay or leave as I wish. Also, Xie Qitian obviously wants me to stay in the 9 underworlds for the rest of my life. How dare he make it sound so dignified? What a despicable person. How dare you slander my father? I'll kill your entire family. Today, no one can save you. Xiezhen scolded loudly with a condescending look. Well, in terms of age, you're older than me. Come and kill me. Lu Ming said. You? Xiezhen was stunned. Humph, loser, do you dare to attack me? I'll suppress you with one finger. Lu Ming said loudly with great disdain in his voice. Xiezhen's face flushed red. In terms of age, he and Lu Ming were of the same generation. In fact, he was older than Lu Ming. However, he did not dare to fight with Lu Ming. Lu Ming could suppress him with one finger. Lu Ming! At this moment, a cold voice sounded. The voice was crisp and pleasant, but it was full of faint arrogance. A stunning woman in a snow-white dress, with milky white light all over her body, stepped on the air and came. She was as holy as a fairy from the 9 heavens. Her body was blooming with holy light. Every time she took a step, a milky white lotus would appear under her feet. 9th Princess Xian Yanjuan. Many people's eyes were attracted by this figure. Xian Yanjuan, one of the 5 great beauties of Zhongzhou State, ranked second among the 5 giants of Zhongzhou State. She was a god's favored daughter with thousands of halos on her body. Lu Ming's eyes also fell on her. Her appearance was very similar to Xian Yanqing's, but her temperament was completely different from Xian Yanqing's. They were worlds apart. Lu Ming had known for a long time that Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan only had the same father, but not the same mother. It was amazing that they looked so similar. Xian Yanjuan stepped on the air and stood in front of the crowd. Looking at Lu Ming, her cold and arrogant voice sounded again. Lu Ming, it was you who took Xian Yanqing away, wasn't it? Hand her over. She is an alien of the Xie family. She has a lowly and dirty bloodline. She will stay in the devil's domain forever and hunt down the Masha clan for the Xie family for the rest of her life to make up for what she owes the Xie family. Haha, ridiculous, really ridiculous. Xian Yanjuan's words made Lu Ming laugh uncontrollably. You said that Nianqing owes the Xie family? You really know how to twist the truth. In my opinion, the Xie family owes Nianqing and you will never be able to pay it back. Lu Ming laughed. Her bloodline has tarnished the reputation of the imperial Xie family. If she doesn't owe the Xie family, then what is? Xian Yanjuan frowned slightly. Bullshit. Bullshit. A bunch of self-righteous people. What is the Xie family? What is the imperial family? They are just a bunch of arrogant fools. No wonder the ancient Saint dynasty is not weak. Being controlled by a bunch of short-sighted fools, It would be strange if they didn't become weak. In my opinion, the ancient Saint dynasty should be destroyed. Lu Ming shouted loudly and his voice spread across the crowd. Especially the last sentence, the ancient Saint dynasty should be destroyed. It shocked many people. He was too bold. He was simply too audacious. Lu Ming actually dared to say such words in front of everyone. This was a blatant insult to the royal family, the Xie family, and a slap to their face. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.